Justin, did you see the rack on Arkansas's football coach? What'd you think of those things?
Those were some
Justin, are you still with us? Justin, sir? We're going to need a few minutes, but now we can talk like men.
Welcome back in to episode 9 of the Now We Can Talk Like Men podcast. My name is Justin Sofro. Alongside me today, as always, Brian Powell, Dwight Young, and we're going to talk like men. We're going to talk about some of our favorite sports and favorite topics when it comes to, obviously, a lot of local stuff here. This is a Louisville, Kentucky podcast. We talk Louisville sports, Kentucky sports, as well as different things going on in the landscape, and really a lot of manly nonsense and, frankly, stupidity, if we're being real. One thing before we get started, though, obviously my voice sounds like crap. You're going to have to deal with it. After that, though, one thing that I need you all to do, if you're here right now, I need you to get on there and smash that freaking like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, stay notified for all of our videos as we get them out. We put out a lot of shorts, a lot of different content on here, as well as the podcast. So make sure you're subscribed and make sure you have that on so that way you get notified for all the videos we put out, as well as go on our Twitter account at NWCTLM. Make sure you give us a follow on there. And of course, we'll also be at Now We Can Talk Like Men on Instagram and TikTok, all that good stuff. Make sure you go follow those accounts right now for us. Guys, how are we doing?
Football is back.
Back, baby.
Football is back. And so to celebrate, I feel like we need to start by talking about UofL and UK basketball.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of things going on there. So we have to start there. We're in the Bluegrass State. Football's back. But let's talk basketball. Justin, what do you think about
like
one
a real
of your...
UK fan right now?
It's a little counterproductive. Louisville, I never want to talk about basketball again, but we're going to talk about it.
You do. You love to get the hate out.
Let me get this hate out right now because I got to get it out. I have a hard on for the hate and I need to get it off. And the issue that we have right now, Nolan Smith, I have been tired of this SOB for the longest time since he came back to the University of Louisville. They tried to set this thing up like
he's a Duke guy.
He's a Duke guy, but also like he is Louisville man. He thinks he is Louisville man. He thinks he has earned it all. He thinks because he's a legacy guy, because he's the son of Derek Smith, even though he chose not to come play for Rick Pitino, not play for Louisville, not win a championship at Louisville, win Duke of all places a championship. I know I'm coming out a little bit heavy-handed. Also, his wife. Shut up. That's all I gotta say. I'm not always just trying to tell the women to be quiet, but that's one that I wish.
I am surprised by this. I thought you were going to be Team Nolan Smith because he's trying to get away from Kenny Payne, and I thought you'd be like, yes, he's a smart guy. Okay. He sees the writing on the walls. I feel this.
So real quick, the background, in case you haven't heard already, I'm sure most people know already the background of the story, but if you haven't, Nolan Smith has been interviewing with the Capital City Go-Go's, which was
sounds like
it's a legitimate team, guys.
It sounds like a strip club.
It does sound like a good strip club. One's kind of like Magic City that like sells wings with the strippers. But when it comes to he wanted to be the head coach, he thinks, and a lot of the narrative that's been pushed out there is, hey, Nolan Smith wants to be an NBA guy. He always had dreams of an NBA. We've all known this. He always wants to go to the NBA, and this is one step closer. I'm sorry. First, one thing I'll say is this: being the head coach of a G League or whatever it is, G League now team is not closer to the NBA, and at the same time as well. It's the Capital City Go-Go's. Like what? How many? Okay, name one coach.
Gotta get your foot in the door as a head coach.
Name one coach.
Is that like the Savannah Bananas of basketball? Basically,
it's got to be worse. There's no way. Like Savannah Bananas are respected because of the bananas. But anyway, Nolan Smith. So my main issue that comes with this is really. And I understand. Yes, obviously, I want the entire team. I want them all gone. I want the entire staff.
The whole team. Is that because they came from bad families?
They are bad families. Bad families, bad people. No talent. But when it comes to Kenny Payne, when it becomes the guys on the staff, Josh Jameson, who the hell knows who he is? What has he done since he came here? He doesn't need to be at Louisville. And then, of course, Danny Manning. And I don't even need to talk about him, as well as Nolan Smith, have done nothing. Since they came to the University of Louisville, have done nothing to make this program better. If anything, I would say they have put Louisville in the ground further. And like the main reason, though, that there's frustration, I understand why you think I'd be on the side because he's trying to get out of here. The reason I have frustration It's because I think it's really all the extras that have gone along with it. The extracurriculars when it came to him, the way that he's gone at fans, the way that he continues to, it's a simple deal. I don't honestly care about brands and logos that much, but like if you're getting paid by the University of Louisville and you have a deal with Adidas and you're getting money from Adidas in advertising, you can wear Adidas shoes. You can wear Adidas. Right? You cannot wear.
I wouldn't do it.
You cannot wear. Okay, then
I wouldn't.
Then you wouldn't have a job, and you shouldn't.
But
have a job
I would get to wear Nike.
People expect you to abide by simple things. Wear these shoes for the 30 minutes while you go on TV.
I guess I could wear Adidas while I'm in public if I had to. If it was required of me.
Okay.
I feel like I could do that. But I would also be on the job hunt.
All right, but
he was.
My thing is I personally do not believe in like brand loyalty and stuff like that. I think all of that is stupidity because they don't give a shit about you. They don't care about you. But at the same time, if you're being paid, just wear this. Yeah. Just wear it. Anyway, we don't need to keep talking about that part of it. But anyway, he just continues to have issues and issues and issues. When it came to the coaching, he didn't do his job. When it came to the players, the one guy that he brought in that we know for sure was Trenton Flowers.
Who's gone.
He's gone. He's gone now. Who's playing in Australia. We could have talked about that before. I don't need to waste my time on it. I said we could have, but we didn't because we didn't have the
So do you blame him too? Or do you blame...
Do I blame who?
Flowers. Because he's for bouncing.
Well, I blame him. Okay. No, I don't blame him. I blame Kenny Payne and I blame Nolan Smith. One, Nolan Smith was his guy who recruited him and brought him in. Kenny Payne, I get it. The way I take that was he came in. He thought he had a coach and he thought he was getting paid good money. Let's be clear. That's what things are now when it comes to college basketball. You're getting an income and you're also getting a coach who's supposed to get you to the NBA. I think he realized the thing that I know as a fan that nobody else seems to agree with is that he got into the training room and was like, this dude doesn't know what doing. Like, this dude cannot get me to the NBA. And you know what? I think I have a better chance and I'm going to make more money going to Australia and playing there.
Yeah.
So I think he realized I am not going to get good coaching here.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So but my issue with Nolan Smith is you do that literally right before. And he's like, what do you mean? The season still starts in a couple months. Dude, you started right before classes started or right as classes started. Like when you're trying to leave, and yes, he didn't end up leaving. And now media and stuff like that, they just released a video and like you can only barely see Nolan Smith in the background, like blurred out, like behind people, you know, like whenever it's like in the background.
Yep.
And like everybody else, Danny Manning, Josh Jameson, Kenny Payne are all getting like highlights like zoomed in on them, and they're just trying to like keep him in the back.
So what is that the future going forward, or is this just like his punishment for now? Like, are they going to eventually be like, all right, you messed up, you're good now? I'm
interested to see how that works out. I think right now there's bad blood there. And I think like Kenny Payne is probably upset similarly to how he got hit with the Trenton Flowers news, all of a sudden not knowing and then not talking to Trenton Flowers. I bet there's some issue there going on with Nolan Smith, because one thing you know right now, if Nolan Smith can find an out, he'll get out.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants to do. And I don't blame him for that, but I also think he is part of the problem, and he is a big part of the problem of why Louisville is where they are right now.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, you don't want to make headlines for basketball right now. This is not the time you want to make storylines.
My guy, Mark Blankenbaker, said something that I truly I agreed with was, can you all just stop? Like, can you just let it, like, it's football time. Let football have its time. I want to talk about football, and you want to make it about basketball. You all have to keep shooting yourselves in the foot, and you can't just let us enjoy football. That's the issue.
Yeah, and I think, this will make you happy. I do think all of this, though, is putting Kenny Payne on a shorter and shorter leash. The fact that people are literally trying to get out of his program, like, in the worst possible ways too. Like, your coaches are trying to leave. Your 5-star person that you banked a lot of your season on, he left on the worst, just out of the blue. So I feel like
I wish I could agree with that.
I feel like it has to.
I think what they keep doing, and here's the thing, I think every time something like that happens, because the people in charge I have no faith in. The problem is so many people buy into this narrative that's being concocted, that's being put out there, all the excuses and excuse making. Like right now, I truly believe that after this happens, if they have another piss poor season, it's going to be excuse number one, Trenton Flowers screwed the program over. If it weren't for Trenton Flowers, then they would have had a better play. They lost their best player. And then two, it's going to if Nolan Smith would have left, if Nolan Smith would have left, it would have been you can't replace your top assistant and a player leaves. You got to get him to get his guys in.
I feel like that's an easy.
My argument though would be that's all I just want to say. My argument would be. That's your job
exactly.
as the coach.
100%.
Is to keep those guys happy and to keep them here.
100%. I feel like that is an easy. Anyone that would have that type of excuse for him, there's such an easy rebuttal, and you just said it. Like, your job is to keep your players around. Your job is to keep your coaches around.
As a manager, the fact that you're not just supposed to crap on people.
The fact that you can't, keep your house tidy, that's part of your job. Yeah. And so if people aren't going to recognize that, I mean, I don't know. I still feel like next year he's got to at least go 500. Yeah, I feel like otherwise, I don't know.
Off of what Dwight just said, is it not true that Nolan Smith's dad has some sort of connection to Kenny Payne?
They played on, I don't know if they played on the same team. They played at Louisville together. I think they had overlap at the end of Derek Smith's career and early on.
I remember the press conference when he was welcoming Nolan Smith's team and making a big deal about his relationship with his father and knowing the quality caliber of the person. Correct.
Nolan Smith went to his dad's grave and said, "I'm home.
Right.
I'm here to fulfill your legacy."
Right.
And they made a big "How do you do" about it.
Right.
And it's real sad because his dad's dead.
Yeah. And then now I'm gonna go to the Go-Go's.
The Go-Go job looked good.
Daddy said go Go-Go.
I went to my dad's grave and he said it actually isn't about Louisville. It's actually about getting you to the NBA, son.
Been about the Go-Go's.
But also, like, who really thinks that? I think similarly, it's all a BS line. He was just trying to find a landing spot. Yeah. Because let's be honest, when it came to when the hiring of Nolan Smith was not you took him from Duke. It was not that. It was he was getting moved down the line because Shire did not have any faith in him. Shire did not think he was a good coach, and he was getting replaced by was it Sterling or whoever it was there at Duke. He was not going to be a top tier coach. He is not a top tier coach, and Louisville more just kind of gave him a life raft, the same as they gave Danny Manning a life raft, if we're being real.
I mean, to Cal's credit, UK has been kind of the opposite, I feel like, than UofL, as far as we look like we were in shambles from a recruiting standpoint and the portal standpoint. Yep. He completely flipped it, was able to get Reeves to come back, was able to get, a good transfer player, and got a really good foreign player. I'm going to butcher the name. We call him Big Z, apparently. But Zvonimir Ivisic?
Ivisic.
Zvonimir
Ivisic.
And so, 7'2" guy. Looked at highlights of him. We were super excited. We're like, oh my gosh, we've got Wembanyama version 2. It's going to be amazing. And then apparently...
Oh, really? You saw that much about him?
Yeah, he's going to be awesome. He was going to change. We were going to get number 9 for sure.
the pants and everything.
The problem is, apparently, his English isn't good enough for him to play basketball. If you hadn't heard.
Yo habla español?
So he can't get his visa or any type of NCAA credentials because the UK admissions program has said that his English... his English equivalency, some type of English test, he didn't do well enough on.
Yeah.
And
English, do you speak it?
And I want to run through a brick wall because that makes no sense. I'm sorry but it is very clear that there are no student athletes anymore. Yeah. The fact that you were telling this kid from another country he can't come here because his English isn't good enough. Right. He's here to play basketball.
Right.
Yeah. He's not here to speak English. He's not going to go up and give a speech to the student body. So the fact that
he ain't here to play school.
He ain't here to play school. He's here to play basketball. I don't know what to think about this other than Eli Capilouto, if you want a job next year, fix this. Fix it.
And this is the part where I sit back and I watch this and I see everything that's going on here. Well, and see, that's one of the things, too. When it comes to him, there's been a lot of I don't want to say conspiracy theories, but there's been somewhat of a news or somewhat of a leak out there. Somebody's putting out there when it comes to the University of Kentucky and it comes to all the drama that's been going on there for the last... it's funny, me as a Louisville fan, talk about Kentucky drama, but there's been a different level of drama that's been happening in Kentucky since last season. And it's just been like a heel turn on the basketball program. Last summer, you saw people turn on Cal and try to go all in on Stoops and say, because Cal wants all these things, which are legitimate, practice facilities, things like that, new, done, whatever. Mitch Barnhart put his little broadcast where he kind of just like urinated on it and said, well, people who need stuff, we'll get to them when they need it. But like he has good enough as it is right now. And that's what he kind of said. He called him, basically said the grace, gratitude, that whole speech and that whole spiel came out.
Yeah.
So a lot of people on KSR, I don't like to just say whatever, but KSR included, kind of took sides.
Yeah.
You had them where they basically were big on Mark Stoops' side. But you've also seen them, it makes sense too, the support from the football program, and they have given them the time of day. But when it comes to Calipari's done enough. Like maybe he hasn't done enough overall for what you want. You want more titles. Right. You want more Final Fours, yada, yada, yada. But he has been a successful, good head coach. You can't argue that. Like you look at them, especially looking at Louisville, but so many other places, it is hard to win. And it's hard to win titles, and it's hard to win Final Fours. But you have this issue that's going on when it comes to this player. And a lot of things that have been floated out there that I've seen, my guy Strebel was talking about today, saying that basically when it came to the situation with Avicic, the basketball program has done everything that they said that they feel like they need to do to get him qualified and playing for UK this season. And now it's the administration, and it's Capilouto, and it's, maybe even Barnhart in there too, kind of agreeing with him, kind of like, that's not saying they were completely trying to underhand him, but there is a little bit of underhandedness that's going on with that.
I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not close enough to the situation to know. My take when I was at school was that Capilouto was he was an academic guy. Sports did not really come into the picture for him. I remember when UK won the title in 2012, I was a senior. He was like, no, everyone's going to class. If you don't go to class, it was the next day. He was like, if you don't go to class, you will be counted absent. If you have a test, you will take your test. And we were all like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard anyone say. Like, how tone deaf can you be?
The Duke
that
guy?
You won't let. Yeah, I'm like, that you will not let us go to this like parade, welcome the team home, go to a rally. Insane. And so I could be wrong. I'm not close enough to know. My take is it's probably Eli just like having a thumb up his butt and just saying like, school comes first. I want all my people to speak English. And it just makes no sense. If this guy is not going to be here next year.
Yeah. So
he's not getting a degree. None of the players on UK's roster is going to get a degree. They're here to play basketball.
It is not school.
And guess what? That's part of how you're getting paid. Like, again, I get it. Your job is not athletic director. But again, think about the money that's coming in. You want to do what is right for the university. This guy's not coming here to play school. Let him play. He'll learn English on the job. He'll learn on the job. All right.
Well,
So the fact that he is not getting admitted to UK, what's funny about this is that does not prevent him from playing college basketball. He could just say, okay, UK won't admit me. I'll go play for another school. How funny would it be if he went and played for like Duke? Where it's like a school like UK who does not have high academic standards, and then he goes and plays for like basically an Ivy League school. That would be hilarious.
A friend of ours who was a valedictorian the year after we graduated couldn't get into Duke, but got accepted into Vanderbilt and did everything at Vanderbilt instead. I just find it hilarious. This guy who can't speak English.
Right.
We all come on in.
It's football time in the Bluegrass, but we're never going to stop thinking about it. It says Kentucky basketball never stops.
Yep.
It's true. So
UofL basketball never stops f***ing out.
Neither. You want to know what else never stops?
Kentucky
bourbon never stops. And if you remember previously on a show, we did 3 Wellers. We did Weller Special Reserve. We did 12 Year and Weller CYPB.
That's why Ash is not here anymore. He's not allowed back after the CYPB stunt. He pulled.
Yeah, he needs.
And obviously, we didn't think it was fair to leave out the other 3, and so we today have Weller Antique, we have Weller Foolproof, and we have Weller Single Barrel. So
and next time, Dwight's going to bring us Daniel Webster.
Daniel Webster.
He's going to get the dictionary out, and he's going to show us how.
No, there apparently is another Weller out there that is just impossible to find. It has like a compass on the top, and they call it Daniel Weller. And
what's it retail for?
I've
only ever seen
$500. I think $500 maybe.
That's insane, and it's like $2,500.
Yeah, we're never going to have that one, I don't think. But
we are.
So I will talk a little bit about these two. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about these two. This bottle's Brian, so I'll let him talk a little bit about it. All right, so we've got Weller Antique, which is 108 proof. It's non-age stated. It's thought to be between 6 to 8 years old. It can be chill filtered, but sometimes if you get a good store pick that's a single barrel, it'll say NCF, and that stands for non-chill filtered. So if you get the standard offering, which is this, it's a non-pick, it's probably going to be chill filtered. And I'll get into what that is in a second. Then you've got Weller Full Proof, around the same age. You're looking at like 6.5 to 8.5 years old. 114 proof. This one here is a store pick. And so if you don't know what a store pick is, it's got a little medallion on it. And it's basically where a store went out, picked a barrel, and they said, I don't want it to be a batch. I want this specific barrel. And so if you know a store that has, their tasting guy, he has the same type of palate that you've got, and you trust his palate, you might want to look out for store picks. Full proof is different than barrel proof. And the difference is that full proof is the same proof of the distillate when it entered the barrel. So when this distillate went into the barrel, it went in at 114. Now, it might have come out at like 130. But if it did that, they would water it down, proof it down to 114. So it's different than barrel proof. Barrel proof is when it could go in at, say, 115, 120, could come out at 140. So it's coming out at a higher proof point. Weller Full Proof is always non-chill filtered. Now, what that means is that a lot of bourbons will be chill filtered. And what that does is it takes out like the oils, the fatty like proteins that are in the bourbon. And what they do is they put it between 40 degrees to 50 degrees, and then they run it through these filtration systems to pull out that stuff. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to make the bourbon smoother, make it more consistent. But a lot of bourbon, experts, people that really appreciate the bourbons, they like that. They like the fatty, proteins that go into. They think it gives it more taste, gives it a different taste profile. And so if you are looking for a non-chill filtered product, Full Proof is that. So I'll turn it over to Brian to talk about single barrel.
Hey, Dwight, can you grab that bottle, the orange label, red,
Yep.
brown label? What's the proof on there?
It's like 97?
It's 97 proof. It's a single barrel. You get it from a single barrel. $600 on secondary. There you go. Let's drink.
And there you go. So yeah, prices really, really quick. So retail, I don't really know. I think these are all fairly similar on retail. You're looking around like $60 to $80 retail-ish.
Yeah, I've seen like $80 is like being
the max.
Pretty standard, yeah.
Secondary, I mean, they're all hard to find. So if you find them, congratulations, you've won the lottery.
Yes.
Buy it every time.
Ohio has a lot of these red labels.
Yeah, if you live in Ohio, you might come across these more often, but we in Kentucky hardly ever see them.
Welcome to Kentucky.
There you go. So you're looking secondary about $100, $120 here for a store pick. You're looking at around $250, $280 maybe on the high end. Here, Brian, what, $600, $650?
Yeah. I mean, I bought it for retail. No, I bought it for $600. Yeah.
So obviously this is by far the most expensive. We'll find out if it's the one we prefer. I have only had this one time in my life, so there's a great chance I will confuse today's tasting. So
I doubt that, given your sophistication of your palate to pick CYPB when I chose wrong last time. I think you're going to be right on par with me.
All right, let's find out. All right,
guys.
Which one do you want to go for first?
Let's do the one without any sticker first.
Okay. I'm not getting a ton on the nose other than vanilla.
Yeah.
A little bit of oak, but mostly vanilla. It's really clean. I feel like it doesn't have a ton of ethanol influence on this, so you're not getting a ton of burn on the nose.
I felt some burn on that drink.
On the palate.
Yep.
Yeah, the nose, it's not burning, but the drink, I got a little bit of
I'm actually
had to reinforce it with some
a little
water.
bit scared based upon just the one sip that I've had, because it's a higher proofage than what I thought. And if that's the case, I'm sorry, what was the 107 proof? Is that still 90?
107.
Oh my God.
Weller Antique 107.
Okay, so this one is going to be harder for me because I don't know why I've never put that together. I've never questioned why it's Antique 107 ever.
Antique barrel.
Antique, full proof, single barrel.
Different.
Sorry, yeah.
Different.
No,
full proof is watered down to 114 proof, right?
It goes into the barrel at 114, and then they water it. If it comes out hotter than 114, they'll water it down back to 114.
Got it. Okay.
So
I genuinely did not know that before now.
I agree with you guys on the palate. On the nose, I felt like it was super just sweet vanilla.
Yeah.
Not a lot of ethanol on the palate. It's got spice. It's got a little bit of a burn to it. Justin, is there a note that you're picking up?
Justin's pretty distinct. With his,
Well, I'm asking because there's a note I'm getting that I'm curious if he's getting it.
on the palate.
Mm-hmm. I do still get that vanilla. The vanilla is still there. I'm getting this. I'm getting the baking spices are prevalent.
Mm-hmm. Is that what that is?
I think the baking spices is what's making it kind of peppery, a little bit of
at the end, like with the finish.
Yeah,
it
does have a good finish. But there's one note that is subtle, but it's there, and I'm curious if Justin is getting it or not.
I don't know if I am. I'm not getting anything strong. I almost want to say like an apple, but like
There it is.
Oh,
there it is.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
I'm getting this candy apple on it. I'm getting an apple. It's not super strong, but I'm getting an apple note, which I don't get that often.
I'm drinking Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof right now on the side, and the proof is way higher than what these guys are, and all I can taste is banana. And
that's Jack Daniel's for you.
It is.
Jack Daniel's is a banana bomb every time.
As much of a Weller shill as I am, Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof this year is amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
I heard the rye's even better.
I love we're reviewing Weller, but he's giving the review on Jack Daniel's. What did you guys think of that one, though, before we get into the circle?
Big fan. Love it. Hotter than I was expecting for our starter, and I'm a little concerned what that means going down, but we'll find out.
I feel like as we do this and as we continue, I'm developing more of a palate for it and more of a, like, before I'd be like, oh, it just burns, like whatever.
Starting to build passion for bourbon.
I'm starting to build that a little bit more. But that one was still just like, it's not my favorite. It was fine, but
I mean, for me, I like Weller a lot. I do. I enjoy Weller. I don't have the same hype for it as I think maybe Brian does. Yeah. It's just not like, it's not a bourbon that just really like gets me going unless I get it for retail.
I'm going to say the exact opposite. I walk out about to go sleep and decide, hey, I'm going to have a little bit of bourbon tonight, and walk over to my cabinet and see all 6 of those boys lined up and say, yeah, might as well go ahead and do a flight. I get out 6 Glencairns and I try each one. And they're good.
They are good. They are very good. I think it's just the fact that they are so hard to find. They're so pricey. That's what turns me off. All right, let's go to the circle.
All right, circle. Okay.
Now this nose to me,
it's weird. I want to say plastic. No, like
you have a plastic Glencairn over there. What's going on?
That's what I'm like.
No, it's not.
I don't know if it's the glass.
That's a funny. I think you just put that in my head.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like, I mean, I do, but like, I've never would have said that.
When I say plastic, what I'm thinking is literally summer swim toy that you're about to blow it up.
I know exactly.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That's what I'm getting.
Yes. Yeah. Summer pool toy plastic.
Yeah. Yes. I can smell that now. Yeah, I can't wait that you said that because I love the nose, and when you said that, now I'm like, well, I don't know if
that's what I got. That's what I had.
I can't wait. I'm going to create a bourbon website just for tasting notes, and it's just going to be the most ridiculous
summer pool toy.
Well, I'm like blow up pool toy plastic.
Yeah, well, I'm like with blow up dolls.
Nostalgic
summer pool toy dolls. That's like, if you want something that tastes like a doll or smells like a doll, this is what you got.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, though, even with that terrible description, I like the nose on this one better than the first one. Just on the nose. I haven't tasted it yet, but
I always like to taste.
That's all I can get now. That's all I can get is plastic sex doll. I'm getting more fruity. It's more subdued than the last one. A lot.
It's a lot more.
That spice is definitely not there on this one.
No.
But it's actually
there's almost no hit at the end.
In a good way. I almost enjoy the fact that this one just kind of lets the bourbon speak for itself instead of that one where it's like you get that spice so heavily that you almost have to like fight through the spice to find the notes, where this one just lets the bourbon speak for itself, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's very light, very fruity.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. Like,
obviously, these should all be around the same age, but this one feels more mature to me than the first one. Like, this one feels more well-rounded. Like, it's just got a better balance of fruit, oak, not too much spice, but enough of a finish to make you feel it.
When you said cherry, I was tasting cherry. Now that I'm tasting medicinal cherry.
Yeah, no, I think it is more of a medicinal. I think it's more of a medicinal cherry than a fresh cherry. But it's still. I actually kind of like it. I get more oak on this one. Again, it doesn't make sense because they should be about the same age. But this one feels. If I was just guessing, like I had no idea what the bottles were, I would guess that this one was older than the first one. All right, so which one did you like between those two?
The flavor profile on the second one is significantly better in my opinion, but I actually like the bite of the first one more than the second one.
Did you like the taste in your mouth?
Get that taste back in your mouth.
Justin, what about you? Obviously, we still have a third one, but
Yeah. How you feeling?
It's the second one for me. I like the pool sex toy smell. That one's really hitting. And then the I don't know. It's an easy, smooth sipper. Like I've gone back to it. Like the first one, I'll be honest, maybe I'm a little bitch boy, but I love that my voice sounds like this when I'm saying I'm a little bitch boy right now while I'm like sick. I'm a little bitch boy. But whenever I drink that one, I have to force myself to kind of go back a little bit because I don't know. I don't love the burn at the end. I don't like that head as much. Yeah. And I guess I'm not getting a lot. This one I like pretty good.
Yeah. I think I like the second one better too. Well, I'll revisit them, but I think that's my initial take is I like the second one. I mean, I agree with you, Brian. I like the bite on the first one, but I don't know. The second one just felt older, felt more well-rounded. I feel like I could pull the notes better. We got one more, guys. We got the last one, the one with a star. Yeah, what other type of inanimate object are you?
Actually, I am.
Okay.
I'm getting a marker, like I don't know if it's a Sharpie
again,
but I'm getting kind of a.
That's a common, yeah.
I'm getting kind of a. I don't know. I think it's the dry erase, the old dry erase markers back in like the 90s and stuff. You know what I'm talking
That's
about?
what they put in the barrel with them. Yeah,
it makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
I'm getting a little bit of a grape. I'm getting something grape here.
Yeah, I was almost gonna say like the flavored markers, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I can get like the grape. Yeah, I can get a grape.
Hold on. Flavored markers or scented markers?
Scented.
Dwight's over here. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
You don't just suck on them.
You don't just like eat your markers. So I'm not getting. This one is lacking to me a little bit.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
I don't think it has a good finish. It almost is the worst combination of these two, where this one doesn't have much of a bite, but it has good flavor. This one doesn't have a ton of great flavor, but it has a good bite. Yeah. This one, I think, is lacking on both. Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. Again, I don't think Buffalo Trace makes anything bad. Let's just be clear. I don't think Buffalo Trace makes a bad product.
It's underwhelming, though. It's just like comparing when you drink the other ones. Maybe if I drink this by itself, I'd be like, oh, that's
good. I mean, they make everything that they make is good. Yeah. But if this is gonna be over $100, which everything Weller other than Special Reserve is, I don't think that this meets that qualification.
That has been my entire argument the entire time that I've ever had in 107. That's why I don't understand
this one is like just the fruitiest.
Yeah, I don't think it's 107.
Which one do you think?
I could be wrong. Are we all right? Let's rank. Justin, what do you think? This one you said fruity.
While I'm drinking, the fruity hits harder for me. So that first one has got the most. I feel like it actually has a lot more flavor than I originally thought. I'm starting to get a little bit more like caramel to it as well. Second
one,
the first one.
Oh, sorry,
first one. This last one, I'm just getting like a fruity, like it feels like a fake fruity flavor. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't taste like an actual apple or an actual grape. It tastes like fake grape. Mm-hmm. Like a Kool-Aid, kind of almost like that. It's weird how it hits. And maybe that has to do with the Sharpie flavor I got or whatever with it too. When I tried to go back to the second one, I got like nothing.
Rank them and tell us what you think.
All right. Me personally, the way I'm going to rank them, I think the last one I had, I'm actually going to put that in last place, just because I think, kind of like you said, I agree with you about the mixture. God, I feel like I smoke 7 packs of cigarettes a day. That's what it sounds like. Give me a cigarette, Johnny. Anyway, so I'd say the last one that I just had probably is going to be my least favorite, just because it just doesn't hit the most. Mm-hmm. I think the first one I have is going to be second for me, just because I'm not as big of a fan of that big hit at the end. And then the second one, easy sipper, like the flavor, and the sex doll smell, great. The blow up doll, good to go.
Do you say the second one, the one with the circle, right? Yeah, is your favorite?
Circle, then nothing, then heart.
Do you have a guess, or do you not even care to guess on which is which?
Okay, nothing is foolproof. This one is the 107. That's me not knowing anything.
Okay,
and then the other one's 97, the heart. And maybe
is the what? Is the 97?
Yeah,
the heart.
Yeah.
is the single barrel, the 97 proof.
Yeah. And I might have it flipped. I don't know.
I think I'm going to get this one wrong because I know Brian disagrees with me. I have the same exact as you, Justin. That's my same like ranking and my same guesses. I feel like the first one is foolproof. That's the only one I feel confident about.
Yeah.
I think the first one is foolproof. These two are where I could get screwed up, and I think that's where Brian's going to disagree with me. But I think the middle one is Weller Antique, because I like Weller Antique, and I liked this one. This one I didn't love. I just didn't think it was that great, and I'm not familiar with Weller Single Barrel, so I could see it not being what I would hope it to be.
Yeah.
So I'm in the same boat as you, Brian. You can't flip because of what we said.
No, I'm not flipping at all.
Okay.
I'm honestly very disturbed that I'm about to be wrong because your palate is very sophisticated. You said exactly what I was feeling when I was drinking all of these. However, your assumption is different than mine, and so I'm a little concerned that I'm going to be ignorant again when it comes to Weller.
So we all agree on foolproof. So let's start there, guys.
Yeah,
all right. So
foolproof
we
is
hope
going to be nothing.
Bingo.
Nothing.
All right, guys.
That's
Moment
the
of truth.
easiest to tell.
Will Dwight get it wrong? Let's see.
Hold on. Are you 100 for? Are you shooting
So far,
Yeah, you betting 1,000.
All right. So Justin and I think that this is circle.
You're not picking that up. You're picking up the single barrel.
Why?
Because the single barrel is the more expensive bottle.
Okay.
And I'm gonna
So
cry.
Justin and I think that this is the heart.
This should be a heart then.
Brian thinks that this is a circle.
I do. I think the colors match.
I'm nervous. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Da, 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 da. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. That one sucked. You opened a $600 bottle of suck.
Give me that.
You opened a single $600 bottle of crap.
He's going to chug it all.
I'm sorry. I felt like the proof.
I hated this.
The single barrel?
I hated this.
What do you think
it
now?
wasn't
This is
good.
my least favorite.
It wasn't good. It wasn't great.
I hate 107, but apparently not. Give me the
Did you?
107.
You didn't even rank.
I did.
Oh, did you rank them the same
In
as
my
us?
head?
No, oh, okay. Well, how did you rank? How did you rank them in your head?
I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. This is mine. Oh, this is yours, by the way. So sorry.
No, go for it.
And this is the brown.
I mean, that's $100. I didn't pay $600 for it. So go for it.
Dude, what the?
All right.
I do it for the pod, guys. I do it for the pod.
No, I think what gave it away for me is I think that it was the proof, honestly, that is what gave it away. I think that this one being 114, it came out a little hot, and I think that that is usually the biggest critique of Weller Full Proof is even at 114 not being crazy high proof, it drinks a little hot, hotter than it should, and that's what I got there.
I like the heat.
I like the spice. I just felt like it didn't allow the flavors to come out.
Yeah.
This one I felt like was a good, balanced, well-rounded bourbon. I wish it was a little higher proof, but it let the flavors come out. This one just fell flat. I just felt like it was flat. I don't know. But I do feel like I could tell the 10 points proof difference. I could tell that this one had a little bit more of a
7, right?
Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
107, 97.
You know what's good about this is that's a single barrel. So go buy another bottle for $600 and you might like it better.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. But no, look, again, Weller is a great I mean,
I hate Weller. Weller sucks. I'm going back to my Jack Daniels barrel proof. $120 or whatever. That's
so
way better.
here's the question before we wrap up this segment. How did you rank them in your head? Because you didn't tell us how you ranked them.
What's your favorite?
It would have been, I had it as, honestly, Weller Full Proof being my first one. I like the bite more than this. I was thinking this was single barrel, even though it was 107 as number 2, and then I had the Heart as number 3.
Okay, so you went full proof, antique, single barrel.
Yeah, single barrel was my least favorite.
All right, so
He looks like he's about to cry.
the winner of tonight was...
Can I sell a partial bottle?
Yeah, you can.
No,
dude.
I'm joking.
You can.
I'm not.
No, the winner was the antique because that's what you and I picked.
Yep, we're
so
right.
What do we
Always.
think about antique versus the winner of last one, which was the CYPB? I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah, CYPB.
Yeah, CYPB.
CYPB.
All right. So if you're gonna spend a lot of money on a Weller, like if you want to really treat yourself, CYPB is the answer. If you want to stay within budget but still have an excellent Weller experience, I would say go with Antique.
How much is Antique going to run you?
Secondary, $100. You can get them secondary locally for $100.
Oh, really?
That's not bad, yeah.
Yeah. So, again, it's not cheap, but $100 for a good bourbon experience and what we've considered essentially like one of our top two.
Yeah.
I'd say pick it up. All right, well, let's move on, guys. Thanks for joining us for that. We're going to get more thoroughly drunk.
I hate this so much. Just let me believe. Gosh.
So somehow we have still not talked about football, even though football is back.
Do you smell it? You can smell it in the air. In the morning, it's like...
that crisp. You can feel the crisp air.
My wife yelled at me, or not yelled at me, but tried to like tell me I was stupid. Because I told her...
So good.
There's a scent when football season comes. It's the end of August, early September.
It's allergy season, baby.
Crisp air, and you get that. And
Jock
you
straps in your face.
You feel energized. You're ready to go. You're going to run through.
You know, I'd have to sweat until at least noon today. It's a good day.
Yeah, but I'm going to overdress early on.
Says the skinny guy.
I don't care, man. I still sweat. It sucks.
Yeah.
I hate muggy August
Swamp
temperatures. Ugh.
Yep.
Anyways, football's back in the bluegrass.
Football.
Both teams are 1-0. Let's dive into Kentucky first. The Cats are 1-0. It wasn't the commanding performance we had hoped for. I mean, we did cover.
Yes.
That is always first and foremost. We did cover.
The final line looks better than the game felt.
It did, 100%. But again, what I do appreciate about coaches like Coach Stoops is that they know what the line is, and they know that their fan base has bet on them, and that they're going to run up the score to cover and make the fans happy. And that's what I appreciate. I appreciate coaches that know what the spread is and that they will do what they need to do to cover. But no, I mean, real talk, I think that it wasn't the game we'd all hoped for. I think that the skilled positions looked pretty good. I'm actually happy with, where we are with quarterback, running back, receivers. Even kicker, like last year, special teams was just laughably bad. This year, I think we're good at the skilled positions, but the downfall and what it was plaguing us last year, the offensive line primarily, but both defensive, offensive line did not look good. And these are the games when those areas should really flash their dominance, because you're playing a team that is outmanned. You should be able to just manhandle teams like that at the line.
And that was not the case. Too.
Yeah, and that was not the case.
Yeah.
You're talking about with the injury with Horsey?
Yeah.
The good news with him is he's not out for the season. That was a blessing. He's only out for a few games, apparently. And thankfully, UK doesn't play anyone good until like week 4 or week 5 even maybe. But Vandy, Florida. So he should be back.
One thing I kind of want to say. So, like, looking at the game, obviously UK, I think the final score looks like what you'd expect it to look like. I think a lot of the issues, one of the reasons why some Kentucky fans may be have a little bit more trepidation about their excitement right now. And we'll talk about Louisville as well. But
you love that word.
When it came to that, I know. But when it came to that game, is a lot of the scoring that you got to pad it a little bit were thanks to like defensive plays, special teams, and then of course that touchdown at the end.
Yep.
Kind of a garbage time touchdown.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and I don't want to discredit.
Fine. Do it.
No, it's still points.
Right.
But as a fan, like I'm watching a game and it feels different than it does when it's a impactful score orchestrated by your quarterback, which is one of the things that UK is like wanting to be hyped on right now. You got Devin Leary. Devin Leary.
Yep.
I knew. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was Devin or whatever. But Leary, who I've seen at NC State for the last couple of years, when he's healthy, he is a very good quarterback.
Yep.
He didn't look as put together. I was kind of hoping to see in this first game. But
he was not in rhythm, and I think part of that is due to the offensive line. But
and he hasn't played since like October of last year or whatever. Yeah.
But I could tell that he was a competent quarterback. He showed me enough to give me confidence in his ability to drop back and throw a pass.
Yeah.
You have to give him time, though. That's the thing that kills me. Is everyone crapped on Will Levis after the season of last year, being like, he didn't complete, he only threw for so many yards, blah blah blah. I'm like, you didn't watch the games. He had less than 2 seconds every snap to get the ball off.
Yep.
You have to protect your quarterback. So, and again, I think that Key and Brown, we have good receivers. So the skill positions I think are going to be solid, but can you protect? Can you? And another thing that's very going to be something to look out for too is for the last 6 years, UK has had a massive bowling ball of a running back. Yep. We had Benny Snell, And then we had Chris Rodriguez, where one man is not going to tackle that guy.
Yeah.
He will get hit, and he will not go down ever until like at least 2 or 3 other people hit him.
Ever.
2
or 3.
But listen, Randy Davis, I think he's an athlete. I think he's going to be good, but he's not that guy. He's not the kind of guy that's just going to like steamroll bowling ball. He needs people to block. So I don't know how that's going to work out if we can't get some offensive line performance. I don't know. That is the biggest worry to me going forward. And my biggest takeaway from after that game is, you're right. I mean, the score was deceiving. I think that the game was never really in doubt. So at least there's that. You were never worried that we were going to lose the game.
Yeah.
But Ball State, you kind of want to see something better than that. So I'm still a little bit, I'm cautious, but I'm still optimistic of a good season. We'll see.
Yeah, it wasn't as dominating as you'd prefer, but I guess that kind of leads me more toward, I guess, how we interpret the end of the game, or not the end of the game, but the later minutes of the game, where a lot of people, given obviously the Horsey injury and potential Devin Leary, no matter what, the entire season you're going to be on pins and needles that he's going to be injured, and that when the moment's going to happen, when is it going to happen? It's going to feel like it can happen at any time because you know those injury-prone players and how it feels. And I think that's why so many people were like, why the hell are our starters in at the end of the game? And there's a little bit of that of like, hey, this is the opportunity you got to try to work out any kinks in the system you're going to work out. But at the same time, is it worth it to keep Devin Leary? And so I mainly look at Devin Leary, obviously, but any of your starters out there in moments where they could get injured, and you just don't need it to happen. You're up by 20 already.
I would agree with you most of the time. The reason in this game I was good with it was because I saw a stat, something about like of all of the teams that played Saturday, UK ran the 3rd least offensive snaps. And, part of that was because we ran back a kick, right? So you're losing an entire, whatever you call it, like operation there. Yeah. But they did not run that many offensive snaps. So I think that they needed more game time experience. They didn't get a ton of offensive plays. Leary was never really in rhythm. So I think that they really needed to get as many plays off as they possibly could. So I was fine with it. And again, if you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. Like, the game was in hand, but it was not such a dominating performance that you felt good about where they were offensively.
And that's also one of the main problems, or not, I don't want to say problem, but one of the main issues that you have to deal with in the transfer portal era, where you're constantly getting new top tier guys to come in because Devin Leary's just not used to the system that Stoops runs. I would say Dave Doran is a little bit different at NC State in the way that he likes to operate than Mark Stoops. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is just you don't have a lot of time to catch up with these guys, where most players, you have the 4-year system that you're playing in. Yeah. So overall,
but I think everyone is in that boat too. Like everyone is in that transfer portal working out the kinks early in the season, and that is why I do think it was smart of Stoops. It's boring for the fans. But I do think it was smart of Stoops to like front end the season with cupcakes, because we're not going to see anyone worth a damn until Vanderbilt, and that's even giving Vanderbilt a lot of credit. And then Florida looked really bad, their first game. So, I don't think anything about this changed my outlook of the season. I think that it was not going to be. I'm not super happy with the performance, and neither was Stoops. And that makes me happy, because if Stoops had come out and said, I think we look great, I would have been like, dude, that's not good. But the fact that he said he was pissed about it makes me feel better. Yeah. I think that this is an 8-win season. I think that 9 would be awesome. 7 would be acceptable, but not great. When I look at the schedule, I see 6 wins that you just have to wake up for. You should wake up, get 6 wins. I see 3 games that you're going to lose that game. If you win by some miracle, awesome, but just expect you're going to lose those games. That's going to be Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama. Just go ahead and write those off as losses. If you surprise us, great. We'd be happy. Yeah. And then there are 3 games that are going to decide how great your season really was. And that's going to be Florida, Mississippi State, Louisville. Those are going to be the 3 games that will decide, was this a successful season or not.
Is Florida good?
No, but they are Florida, and we're UK, and there's that history of just us completely comically pissing down our leg, and so I will never consider. I will never.
That only happens when you accidentally like throw it out over top the.
No, it happens all the time. It happens no matter what. But
Stoops has done it a couple times, but he beat him last year. And I think they almost look worse this year. Well, I don't know about that, but we'll see how they develop. But I think that's one that they probably win.
No UK fan
season.
will ever consider Florida a like check the box.
Guaranteed,
that's a win. Never.
You're bringing it up, but also you talk about starting the season out with a cupcake, and I think a lot of people like to get very defensive whenever I bring this up. That's not a bad thing. Like it makes sense because you're playing in the SEC.
Yeah.
You got good competition.
Sure.
You play Louisville at the end of the season, which is a not for sure win team. You need to have games that make sure you get to 6 wins. It's done. Louisville may have to look at that before you know it too, as well down the line of doing it. Instead of, even though in 2026 they play. They signed up to play Georgia. They play Notre Dame. They play Florida State, Clemson, and North Carolina. If North Carolina continues to be a good team, that's a tough season.
Jeffy's got it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Jeffy take care of
And
business.
Clemson's nobody anymore. Clemson's done. So
we'll see. Well, hopefully,
but no, that's a good.
But wait.
Oh,
The reason I brought that up, the reason I said that was to ask you my issue, and the one thing that I felt, and I think I still feel this way. The beginning of the season, I know it's been years. It's been almost 10 years since we've done it. But God, I miss the Louisville Kentucky game being the first game of the season. Mm-hmm. We opened up the season against. I mean, Louisville played Georgia Tech, and we'll get to that. But playing against and then they play Murray State in the next game. Playing against these teams does not get it.
I agree.
Get it going.
Yeah.
Like Louisville, Kentucky. There was a part where I tried to talk myself into, this is cool. Louisville, Kentucky at the end of the year. It's great because that's when all the rivalries are played. You're right there next side, Alabama and Auburn, Ole Miss, and Egg Bowl and all that stuff. Yeah. No, they're not. They are. People care, but they don't give a And at the same time, Louisville, Kentucky was almost some sort of appointment viewing for people early on because there's not a lot of good early games on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was just so much fun getting out there while the weather still feels great.
There you go.
In the sun, you're drinking your beer, you get your bourbon, you're sipping on your bourbon, and then Louisville, Kentucky plays. And for the winner of that game, especially when it was competitive.
You had it all football.
Well, when both basketball and football were competitive, the football winner gets to enjoy it a lot longer than having that turnaround basketball season comes. This
a month later. Right.
Yeah. Could not agree more. I mean, on paper, when I saw that it was going to be the last game of the season, I was like, that could be awesome. Like that could have like bowl implications. That could blah blah blah.
Yep.
But I did not account for the weather. It sucks when it's cold outside and you're just like, do I really want to go out there and freaking cold? And like both teams kind of like they know what they are at this point. You know what I mean? Like you've already gone through the whole.
Or they're full of injuries.
You guys don't even understand. I wish that you guys could understand. I am obligated because Tamsin's my wife's family celebrates Thanksgiving and Christmas every single year, the weekend of Thanksgiving.
Mine does too.
And so I'm obligated to go up to Ohio where everybody's only worried about the Michigan-Ohio State game. And I've got to sit there and with my headphones, not with my friends, not going to the actual game, not making real plans.
I have it worse than you. I have it worse than you because I have to go to the same type of event in the middle of nowhere where there's no internet. So I have it even worse. And so I can't even converse with my friends or Twitter. I'm literally in just like the Walking Dead area where there's nothing happening. Yeah. And it sucks.
If Louisville didn't have Scott Satterfield for the last 4 years, I wouldn't feel bad.
And it's every single year they plan it on that day.
Yes.
But no, back to your point though too, where that was a good point, but I am in your boat. I'm in the same boat as you.
Hold on. I would argue that you're right because at least they up there understand
football.
I've got a very important situation going on for the next 3.5 hours, and they'll leave me the fuck alone.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm gonna watch it, and it's okay.
Yes.
But when Michigan Ohio State come on, that's the only thing that fucking matters, and I get to enjoy that too. You don't get to enjoy any of that.
I can watch the game because they do have it on the TV typically, so I can usually watch it. But everyone there is the worst they're the worst type of UofL fans. Mm-hmm. They're all UofL fans, but they're UofL fans in the sense that sports don't really matter.
Her side?
It's her side. It's Allison's side.
It's her side.
But they're UofL fans in the sense of yeah, go U of L, but like, who really cares? I'm like,
I don't know
hate
anything.
you.
Yes.
Hate you.
See, what I have on my side is the UK version of that. And what I mean now is they don't even cheer for UK anymore because of political reasons.
What?
Kneeling.
When you're the first game of the season
Bonding.
and the whole season is in front of you, the possibilities are endless. You know what I mean? It's like, we get past Louisville, we beat Louisville,
Yeah.
we beat Louisville. We could win the SEC East. We could do this.
Or it's the highlight
But
of your
then when it's the
season,
very
you get to-
last game of the season where everyone, like you said, everyone's banged up, the weather's cold, you kind of already know what bowl you're going into. Yes, it's still, you want to beat your rival, but it's just like,
It's just another exhausting thing to do.
Right. Okay. But no, I agree. 100%.
It changed the entire dynamic, and like I just miss it so much.
Back when
because-
U of L was good and UK was not very good, I loved it. Also, that being the first game of the season, I was like, no, I was like, maybe we can sneak up on them. They don't know.
got a chance.
They don't know.
Got a chance.
Yeah, I was like, they haven't been prepping for us. They don't know what's going on. And then we get killed, and I'm just like, well, they knew it was. Nothing about this game changed my outlook on the season other than I was disappointed to see that our offensive line did not just dominate. But, you know, we'll see what happens.
Next up, EKU.
Next up, EKU.
They
which
lost 66 to like 3.
your lock of the
against
week.
Cincinnati. Well,
Lock of the week.
We'll talk about that.
That's just
that was my fault
If
for
only he gave him the line.
That was I let my hatred.
That was a spite bet.
That
was a spite bet.
It was. I let my hatred of Scott Satterfield, and I forgot. Oh wait, Scott Satterfield, when he just takes over a program, he can do okay. But when he actually has to do his program,
Right.
so give a couple years from now, I'll fade him. But right now, I think he can do okay because he had Luke Fickle scraps to pick up, so he's go right.
I am very proud of Satterfield. I think he's doing a great job. I just love seeing him
Covered
over
that
Cincinnati.
spread by a whole lot. So anyways, let's talk about the U of L game. I actually did. One thing that this podcast is going to do for me is it's going to require me to be invested in U of L because I actually sat down and watched the entire game. And, you know, I can tell my
That was a
wife,
lot.
like, no, it was, I
Okay.
watched every snap.
I still believe that you would watch the game.
I promise you. I never watched
You know why
a
you did?
single
Because it was on a
game.
Friday and it wasn't
That's
happening at the same
partly
time
true.
as
No,
you.
that's partly true. That's
you
true
never
too.
watched U of L football? I mean, okay, wait. I get it with Satterfield because it's boring
Yes.
as fuck.
He's talking about sitting
he's
down,
running.
actually.
And he's running.
When Satterfield-
he's running second and long on the short side of the field every single time, and like I get why you wouldn't watch that. I get that a
little bit.
but I think. But my question overall is. Like the one thing I say
Thank you.
that a lot of people like maybe disagree with because so many people are like, "Oh, why are you obsessed with UK? Why are you obsessed with U of L?" I think one of the fun parts about being in a rivalry is you almost have a second team to watch when you got nothing going on.
Oh, absolutely.
When Louisville, if Louisville's not playing, and Kentucky's playing today, yeah, I'm gonna watch that game even just for the chance.
And I 100%. Well, see, that's you just that
I
last.
don't.
Wait, no, hold on.
Just for
the
fun.
last part that you said is the key.
Just for
That's
fun.
what you
Just
said is
for-
the key.
yeah.
Well, no, what you said is the key. The very last thing when you said the chance that they lose.
Yeah.
I did not watch a single U of L basketball game last year. I didn't watch a single.
did I.
I did not watch a single
Well,
U of L
the
football.
losses were guaranteed.
That's my point. Is there? No offense. I don't mean this as offense.
Yeah.
I know U of L fans are gonna come at me, but
No,
but the thing is,
Yeah.
you guys haven't been good enough for me to care. If you're good.
Yeah.
I will watch and I will root for you to lose because I hate you.
That's
but
a fair enough point because they were. I mean, that was. And I've used this term to describe it. It was an abortion. It is literally the worst coaching job I've ever seen done in the history of sports. So yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
So
Okay.
it's like I didn't want to watch for the chance that you lost because you were going
was
to lose,
guaranteed.
and I'm just like, what's the fun? And again, kicking a dog that has AIDS in one leg, but. I will watch this. I will watch this team because I do think they're better, and because obviously we're going to talk about it on the podcast. But I want to get your all's takeaway.
I guess to me that the more I don't want to say it's more key, but let's be honest. Louisville, at least they played. It was an ACC opponent. Georgia Tech is Georgia Tech. All right? I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass and act like it was a super meaningful game, but it was a Power 5
conference game.
It was a conference opponent, and it was Power 5. So you can take a little bit more from it. I think coming into the Jeff Brom era at Louisville, there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of people that are like, I don't want to say they're kind of getting too excited,
Overestimated.
Like they're over. I mean, a little bit because a lot of the hype goes into it's a weak schedule. And I think it may not be as weak as people are saying if you look at what transpired this last weekend.
Give or take, though, because you saw yes, I agree with you. Clemson's probably going to be more formidable than you thought.
Well,
Clemson might be worse than you thought.
Duke, you mean Duke.
Oh, you don't play Clemson?
No, but they play Duke.
Ah, but you play Duke? Okay.
They play Duke.
Okay, see, there you go.
Duke got to meet
Duke's good.
And they met at the D. They got to meet at the D. They did. I think, and so Duke looks better.
Duke looks good.
And then you have, I'm trying to look at it like, is Clemson just bad? Is that because
they are bad?
I'm not going to dive into the whole thing when it comes to Clemson and him. You know, we believe in God's name, image, and likeness. We don't believe in your image and likeness. Like, he is shooting himself in the foot when they have a fantastic program that they could do everything. They could be another Alabama if they want to, but they have a guy who's not doing it. Anyway.
Hey, he's on the Tiki Talk.
Oh my God!
Did you see that?
Yes.
Good God.
That was, but no, Clemson, they are bad because they should not even. They would have not even scored a touchdown that entire game, but for that muffed fumble. Duke gifted them 7 points, and that was the only 7 points they scored all game. So it's hard. It's crazy.
Like they can be pretty solid.
It's crazy to say that having Duke on your schedule instead of Clemson might be a bad thing, but
no, it is. Like, if you look through the season, I mean, they don't play Syracuse, but Syracuse surprised me. What beat the team 65-0. I mean, it wasn't it was like, I can't remember exactly who it was, but it was still a team that they typically don't do that with. So I don't know if I'm not saying the ACC is better than I expected, but it could be a little bit more. They don't play Florida State, luckily. Florida State looks damn good against LSU. And anyway,
what was that?
It wasn't. I mean, I guess the beatdown part was a little bit unsuspected.
Yeah,
but they did beat LSU last year. They came from behind with LSU last year. I was gonna pick that one for my pick of the week, but I just didn't know which way to go.
Don't worry, I picked it.
Yeah, you did.
We'll talk about that.
Well, I picked Clemson too.
in the segment that we're gonna go with the fade of the week from now on.
No joke.
But anyway, when it comes to Louisville, they came into that game, a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. You kind of expect, even though Louisville was 0-2 overall against Georgia Tech before, again, Scott Satterfield, Bobby Petrino during the Bobby Quitrino year. That's a lot of what happened there. But at the same time, you come into that game kind of hoping that they just start firing on all cylinders from the beginning, give you something to be excited about.
That turnover at the very beginning, oh my gosh. I thought, all right, here we go. We're going to get 7 on. And we're going to be good.
Yeah.
And then we turn into a field goal.
Right.
And then, what happened?
The very first quarter was okay. That second quarter was abysmal. It was one of the worst quarters we've ever seen. But, they ended up getting outscored. It ended up being, 28-13 going into the half. And that was a lot
of defense, I felt like, too. Your defense could not tackle in that second quarter.
And that's my biggest worry. It still is. My biggest worry about bringing in Jeff Brom is you bring in Ron English, who's been at Louisville before, who has had a lot of issues, who is, I don't believe, a very good defensive coordinator. The one thing that excites me, though, is that Jeff Brom is not he is not Scott Satterfield, and he not just that he's not Scott Satterfield, but he actually makes defensive and offensive adjustments at halftime.
Clearly,
during halftime, he went to Ron English and said, "Whatever the you're doing, it is not working. I'm seeing this, and this. You need to adjust in this pattern."
Right.
And then they shut him down except for that final garbage time goal at the end in the second half. Also, you had Brian Brom go up to Jack Plummer, and here was the issue in the second half. So much of it I'm watching, and it's funny because you're talking about Devin Leary, and the whole time you're talking about Devin Leary and about needing to get him more protection time and all that. I'm seeing the opposite issue with Jack Plummer. And Jack Plummer, who is a guy who obviously played under Jeff Brom before, but was at Cal. And Cal is not a very good football team. But he now is coming into Louisville, and Louisville, for the first time in a long time, has a very, very good offensive line. And I'm watching. Dude, he's got all the time in the world. Right. And he is seeing ghosts out there. I'm watching it, and he's nervous. Like, you can see it. Like, he is nervous as hell. And he's just throwing these early passes, throwing short passes.
He was throwing them. Everything
open.
was short. And there was one play where the receiver, which you can never do. You can never show up your quarterback like this. But he threw a pass that was way short, and you see the receiver going like,
Was that Jamari Thrash?
Yeah.
And he was throw it up, like get it up. And I'm just like, ooh, that's not a good look. And obviously that was in the
Truth
second.
is objective, Dwight. If you need to get it up,
Yeah,
I guess. But it's like, when you can't get it up and they tell you to get it up, it doesn't help get it up.
It never does. It never has helped. No.
It never helped. They know, right? You don't have to rub it in their face.
I'm going to take a break.
But I mean, if it's Jamari Thrash, that's fine. He can tell everybody because he is going to be that guy. After you came into the second half, it's funny what I love, and that's why I love having a guy like Jeff Brom, which is, and I'll give UK fans credit, like that's why they love a guy like Stoops. They are fiery personalities. They don't mince words, and they act. You know that they are as passionate about winning as you are.
Right.
And like Jeff Brom came into that. He came out that halftime, and he said, "I didn't lift a lot of spirits at halftime."
No,
is what he said.
Right, but the guy who's interviewing him specifically trying to say, "Hey, you talked up your guys, right?"
Yeah, he's like,
and he's
no.
like, "Yeah, I didn't lift a lot of spirits." I was like, "I love you, thank you."
No, I f***ed them up at halftime.
Right, that's what you're supposed to do.
He said, he told people, if I don't see you put in effort, you're not playing the rest of the season.
Right.
That kind of
Show
stuff.
the up.
Scott Satterfield would never have done any of that
No.
kind of crap.
Yeah.
But so I'm excited to see that. I will say though, that second quarter did make me have some trepidation, have some worry when it comes to the season.
You
because
love
I'm
that
like,
word.
Because I'm like, how much of that team in that quarter is what
Is
this team
in it,
is?
yeah.
And then also,
Cooley was
how
doing it to
often
us.
is that going to happen? And how often are you talking about Travion Cooley who left?
Cooley was doing it to
Yeah,
us.
he had, good for him. He had a good
Two touchdowns right then.
I
yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
they interviewed him. I don't know if it was I think it was right before halftime or something. And you could tell that he felt like he had played his balls off, which he played well. But I'm like, the fact though that you're feeling yourself instead of being like, that's what I expect of myself.
Sure.
I'm like, you're in for a problem this next half.
And it's also kind of like, and I get it. It's happened to Louisville twice, I think, in Georgia Tech, where it was the Wake Forest. It was very similar schools, but they lose a running back leaves and goes there, and then they eat it up against Louisville for a little bit. It's fine. I just think it's kind of like also with the way the status of college football is now with the transfer portal and all that. Like, I think some of you guys are just gonna have to let that go, and like also like even if you're the player needs to too, and realize you don't need to have some kind of vendetta every time and like talk some. But he was fine for the most part. So many opportunities that I know Jack Plummer's gonna need to be able to settle in, but at the same time, like it makes me worried about Jack Plummer as the guy going forward. I know that Jeff Brom, that's his guy for the season,
right,
or to start out the season,
right.
But like you have these other quarterbacks that you're working on.
Sure,
you got Brock Doman in there. Evan Conley, he got in for a play. He ain't playing, bro. That ain't it. But like either Brock Doman, and then also you got the Brady, and then also Pierce Clarkson's one that'll be interesting to me to see because of his dad and because of the way he's more of a dual threat kind of quarterback. If he gets any run at all this season, I think Jack Plummer's a guy I want to trust in. But the one thing that worries me, the one thing that should be working as a favor to him, which is that he has experience, is actually working against him because he has worries that are unfounded when you're playing with a good offensive line and you're playing with a solid coach who knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
meaning what? Hold on.
So
he's not used to it.
The experience from usually a guy like Jack Plummer has a lot of experience. Usually there'll be a guy who'll be a little bit more poised and you can rely on.
Sure.
I think he's so used to having the offensive lines that collapse, and he's reacting. He's seeing ghosts. He's worried about getting his head taken off.
Yeah.
He's the guy that probably also needs to take. I think that's what happened too. Is he took a hit and he realized, oh, I'm good. Like these guys are protecting me, and also that didn't hurt. Now let's get to work, kind of thing. Sometimes you need to take that first hit before you really connect and get it going because you're so nervous of getting your shit rocked, kind of thing.
There was a few times where the field opened up and he had room to run and he just refused to move.
Well, he's white.
Larry's white.
Yeah,
he can run a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think you touched on the two things as a UK fan. Me watching that game, I am looking for weaknesses. Right, like I'm looking for what does
U of
L suck at that I feel like we can expose, and I think you touched on it. One is the second quarter. Like, will they be a good defensive team? Will they be will they be able to tackle in open space? Will they be committed to that? that second quarter looked like they were going to just be like gashed, but they tightened it up in the second half.
Yeah, that second half though, like I'm thankful for that. They would have covered if it weren't for the garbage time.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm not betting on Louisville games because only time I bet on Louisville games is against Kenny Payne to fade him because I know I'm going to make money, and against Bobby Petrino in 2018 where you knew you were going to make money because he quit on the team. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not going to bet on my team. But at the same time, it is what worries me. But that second half, I think a lot of people
you finished on a high note.
Some people
that's
get
the
a
nice
little
thing.
bit too high on it. But I think you saw some good things where Jeff Brom did Jeff Brom things, took over as a coach, and for the most part, you never worried about losing that game after the second half started.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're trying to pick out weaknesses, it was that second quarter. Will they be a disciplined, defensive team? Will they tackle, wrap up? Mm-hmm. And then Plummer. Like, I think he did not look great. And so I was worried about Plummer. As a UK fan, I was like, I want to see how good this guy is. Mm-hmm. I walked away from that game thinking he's got some holes. Like, he might not be the guy. But, I do think that if I was a UofL fan, I would walk away from that game feeling pretty good. I think I would walk away from that game feeling
you get
better.
A conference road or you get a conference win. It's not on the road, but it was in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Sure. It's basically a home game for Georgia Tech. Mm-hmm. Not that home games at Georgia Tech are difficult.
Right.
But you played in Atlanta, you went on the road, you got the win, you started the season well. Because after the first half issues, you were able to come back. That's the biggest part to me. Yeah. Is Scott Satterfield, if he's the head coach right now, Louisville loses that game by 25, 30.
Agree. Yeah, I agree.
Because he cannot adjust, and he's the guy who doesn't know, he doesn't have that.
I was letting y'all cook, and that was my singular point, was that I didn't even care if we won that game, but we saw an objective difference coming out the second half that says we're changing how we're playing because what happened in the second quarter did not work. Yep. And we're going to adjust to make sure that we can try to find a way to try to be competitive.
Yeah. My wife went to sleep at halftime and she woke up and was like, we won? How did we win? I was like, honestly, it wasn't that close.
It's a game of two halves.
Really, they really just tightened the screws on them.
It's been so long. I'm so not used to a coach that can do that. Yeah. That can actually make adjustments. Like, I mean, it was almost perplexing to me to be like, oh, shit, this guy didn't just quit on it. Like, he knew what to do, and he pointed out his guys, and he got them going, and I feel good about that.
And it wasn't just happy coach speak. It was legit. Yeah. I'm going to put a fire in you, and if you don't understand, I'm going to find somebody who will.
Then you're done. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You're not. I love that. You don't need to just give. You don't need to give false hope to guys or you don't need to give them your blessing when they shouldn't be playing the game.
Right.
So who do you all have next? And then when do you all play your first?
State. By the time that this releases, it'll be already. It'll be over by then. But tomorrow night, Murray State plays Louisville. Murray State coming off a 44-10 or something like victory over the Presbyterian Blue Hose. They actually are the Blue Hose. I love that. That's the only reason I brought that up. They're the Blue Hose.
They're playing my son's preschool team.
But it's a FCN whatever team kind of thing. I think they're favored by 41 points or something like that. Yeah. Which is, I guess with Jeff Brom and his offensive thinking, we'll see. I don't know if.
I don't know if I
should, but I'm not going to bet that game.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're heavily favored. It's the first game, playing for Jeff Brom at home at Louisville. Hopefully, it'll be a fun environment. All that, whatever. Just get the win, keep going, whatever. Yeah.
When is the first challenge? What's the game? Like I said,
Indiana. Number 3.
Well, I don't.
That's the third game. Is Indiana?
Yeah, you say that as a joke, and I think you're joking, but
no,
I don't know.
It's not here. They kept Ohio State from scoring in that first half. It was.
Well, see, there's two things. That's where I come with. I watched really more the score update than I did the game.
Sure,
but Ohio State, Indiana was closer than I expected.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that was Ohio State just being vanilla because we know it's Indiana and let's just move forward and worried about the future. Then when it comes to beating,
I watched the Ohio State game. That's my second team there. Yeah,
right.
I'm invested.
Well, anyway, we'll see. But Indiana, it's one. It's one that Jeff Brom always beats. He always beat up on Indiana at Purdue, kind of thing. That's one thing I'm hoping that transitions. he cares about rivalry games.
Sure.
That kind of thing. So I think I have faith he'll beat Indiana. It's just, to me, it's all new. It's quickly happening. But I'm sorry, you beat Indiana. Indiana's not a team that, if you're Louisville football and what Louisville football should be, that I'm worried about beating Indiana.
Right.
So when's the first, if you're not counting Indiana, when's the first challenge? Is
NC
it
State?
NC State?
Yeah, I mean, I would still say Indiana is, just because it is in the circumstance that's not at home. It's in Indy, but yeah, NC State is going to be one that is the most meaningful, because NC State recently has been a program of note when it comes to the ACC. They're pretty traditionally a top 25 team for the last few years. Dave Doran has had, I don't want to say Louisville's number, but he's had good showings against Louisville, except for last season they got him, and I'm hoping that'll be one that they show out. They didn't start out great against UConn, though, so that'll be the one that we really know. But that second half of the season, you're gonna get some interesting ones, because then you're gonna have Notre Dame, you're gonna have
Pitt,
Pitt as well. Yeah, so those games.
Duke, it's Notre Dame, Pitt, and Duke.
Yeah, that'll be the stretch that we'll really know what Louisville football is this season.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited. All right, so we will hopefully review Week 2's games on the next pod. We'll see. If not, we'll review Weeks 2 and 3. So we'll see.
Exactly.
But why you guys are here, you guys want to watch us because we're going to help you make money. And you have never picked a better time, because we are due. We gave you our locks of the week last week, and
we're screwed.
They could not have been worse, because not only did we go 0-3, we went 0-3 in the biggest way. So let me give a rundown really quick.
It's so ugly.
I picked LSU -2 against Florida State.
I like that.
They lost by 21.
I understood where you were coming from, and that's why I was like, I'm not betting that. Like, are you serious?
Justin bet EKU as a 10.5 underdog.
Again.
They lost by 53.
Again.
Yeah.
Scott Satterfield. It was spite. It was Scott Satterfield. I saw red, and I was misplaced. Okay, I realized I made a mistake.
And then Brian bet Clemson, and I loved Brian's bet. I almost wanted to take Brian's bet because I liked it so much.
Yeah.
Clemson, 13-point favorite
Throttled
against Duke. 13-point favorite. They lost by 21.
Absolutely.
So we didn't even come within like earshot of winning one of our bets. So we're due. So we're going to give you our locks of the week.
Or the segment where we call it Fade of the Week.
Or Fade. You choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
But if I were you, I would ride with us, because water always finds its level. We are due. We're going to win this one. I'll start. And I'll be honest with you. I was really wanting to pick Colorado. What are they, 2-point favorites over Nebraska?
You're not a believer. You don't believe 3
I
points.
do believe, but here, maybe I
3.
don't. Here's the thing. They are just so, like, it's crazy to me that people were picking them to win like 4 games.
Yeah.
And now they're in the top 25 after 1 week.
Dude, that team's going to be 7-5 by the end of the season.
I'm just so nervous that the bottom's going to fall out, that everyone is just so overhyping them. So I'm going to stay away from it. I'm going to cheer for Colorado.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Oregon favored by 6.5 against Texas Tech. Texas Tech put up an absolute stinker of a game where they were favored by 14 points against Wyoming, lost the game. Meanwhile, Oregon put up 80 points against somebody I don't even know, but who cares? 80 points is 80 points.
Yeah.
Being favored less than a touchdown, I have to go with Oregon. I'm going to go with the Ducks. So that's my lock of the week. Ride with me. I'm going to win this week.
Interesting pick. Okay, I can see that.
All right, Justin, what do you got?
All right, for my lock of the week or fade of the week, if you probably are smart, just fade me. I hate to do this. I hate it because I don't believe in this with every fiber of my being. We've seen it back to 2013 with Manti Te'o and everything that's going on with Notre Dame. I never want to buy into the hype, but they had 2 really good showings to open the season. They play against NC State. They are a 7.5-point favorite, I think, right now against NC State. NC State not looking very good against their first opening outing against UConn. Is UConn a better team than we've seen in the past? Against the UConn squad, which I never believe in UConn football, is probably one of the dregs of college football overall. So I don't believe in them. I'm going to take Notre Dame to cover the 7.5 points against NC State. Lock it in.
I like that pick. I like it. And that's bad for you that I like it. But I like it.
I hope you like this one too.
I hope I do.
Be like this
the last one too.
I'm gonna take Bama over Texas.
Is it 7?
It's 7.
I like that pick too.
Yeah.
And that's probably bad for you too. I do think that people are too down on Alabama and too high on Texas. I think that's a very smart bet.
Didn't Texas beat them? Did they beat them last year?
No, God, fuck
Oh
you.
no, it was the last second. Yeah,
I think it was,
sorry.
Yeah, I think it was.
No.
I remember living and dying.
I
with
think
that. Yeah.
I think that people. I think there's two things going on. One, people are down on Alabama. They didn't make the playoffs last year, and everyone's accustomed to them making it.
Yeah, a little bitch.
Two, Texas played them super close last year, where they should have won. I mean, it was almost. They almost had to it was comical how they lost. It was so stupid.
Yeah.
And so I think that people are overreacting to recency bias, where I could see Saban just being like, "You all are stupid. I'm going to beat them by freaking 32 points." So
Yeah.
I like all of our bets.
All right.
I like all of our bets, and that's a bad sign.
So we're gonna go 0-6.
So
2 weeks.
lock it in. Maybe even, you know what you should do? If you're a true now we can talk like men listener, parlay them.
Oh, yeah.
A 3-bet parlay. You take all of our bets. That would be amazing.
I'll do it.
I'll do it for $10. All right. So anyways, lock in those bets.
good,
We'll
Bears.
see.
Can you play that one more
Not
time?
looking good.
It's not looking good.
looking good.
All right, so what we do need help, though, from you guys is let us know what our punishment should be for the loser. The person with the worst record at the end of the season is going to have to do a punishment. Let us know what that should be. Right now, we're all tied. We're all winless. So
I'm so glad that it worked out that way because I knew my pick was bad early on, and I was like, I'm screwed.
I was hoping
I
for
thought
it.
you knew that your pick was bad when you were fighting Dwight on the line.
Yeah, Brian was fighting me on the line because he found a line Justin, because he found a line that was like a full touchdown worse.
It was Caesars.
You keep saying it was the same. How do you know that he took Caesars?
It was because Brian sent us a screenshot. And it
said-
had Caesars Sportsbook
Okay,
on the thing.
fine, but
Their
all of
logo.
his sports books were the same line. Regardless, you lost by like 50 points.
I would buy the Caesars Sportsbook. That's all I'm saying.
I think
And
we need to
Caesars
go by
Sportsbook
DraftKings.
Had me at 16.5.
DraftKings needs to sponsor us. DraftKings, give us some money.
Actually, they do like sponsor everybody, so we might have an opportunity there. We
There
might,
you go.
see.
We're getting
Anyway,
picks, giving free picks.
Free picks.
I'm also betting on your app, guys. Come next week. So
Yeah, I'm going to come next week. We move on. We got our locks in. We talked to UofL. You talked to UK. We're not done yet. When it comes to sports, I'm sorry, guys. As you know, I'm excited. Football season's here, and it is an entire lifestyle that we got to get into. And that's why this moves on to our latest segment of the Dude Debate. We're going to talk about the lifestyle choices that you disgusting human beings make when it comes to that you put me through when it comes to sports fans and going to games and living in games, or just if you want to do it outside of games as well, you can, but being sports fans and the etiquette that you portray overall.
You love that word, etiquette.
I like
We've used
that
it
word.
3 different.
Etiquette's a good
Yeah,
word,
etiquette,
and that's what. But I already know when Justin told us this is what Dude Debate was going to be. I already knew what one of his questions was going to be. It was the most obvious one of all time, and let's just get it out of the way.
Okay.
And you know that I know.
I don't.
Okay. let
You
me
know
see.
that I know. Is it bad etiquette to wear your sports team's shirt to a rival's game when your sports team's not playing?
Actually,
dude,
that is
that's absolutely one of
that's
mine.
on the list. It's not high on the list,
Oh,
but
that
it
was
is.
number
Mine's not a
one.
question.
It's not
if
number
it's
one
bad.
for me.
It is bad.
It is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You're the
obvi-
douchebag UK fan that shows up to the U of L game.
I've
and you
never-
have
Obviously, the elephant in the room is UK fans going to U of L games, and UK fans for some reason have pride in it. They love it. They buy into it. And they're like, well, I don't see a problem with it, dude. Like if I went to a UK game wearing U of L gear, I'd be
did.
a douchebag.
I did.
You would think.
I did.
What
Guess
is it?
what?
Who are they
I
playing?
got threatened multiple
Who are they
times walking
playing?
into Commonwealth Stadium.
Who are they playing?
Nobody.
See, there. Boom.
Okay, you're a jackass. Then.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I think you're a
It
jackass.
was not. I did. Oh, actually, you know what?
You wore wait. You went to watch UK play, not against Louisville, and you were wearing a U of L stuff. Then you're a jackass. Like you are the
Honestly,
problem.
genuinely, I thought that I did because I thought it was hilarious the one time, and I realized what a douchebag was.
Yeah.
and I'm realizing now, no, it was the U of L UK game that we sat.
We went.
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't remember getting
No.
accosted at all.
Yeah, no, I did. Are you serious?
No. Well, you're kind of douchey.
Yeah, I was really drunk
You
and
were
like
kinda
I was being
douchey.
silly. Yeah,
I never got accosted by anybody. But I mean, there are a couple people just doing like normal fan booing and like L's down and stuff like that and that crap. Like that's fine. I can get over that. But what I'm talking about is you
No, physically threatening me.
Okay, well, that didn't happen to me, but okay.
There was a shiv.
No, God.
Welcome to Lexington, bitch.
we are the only.
You know that's U of L, right?
We are the only
come
city with
on.
an Applebee's.
Let's be real.
We got 7 Applebee's. We love our Applebee's. Anyway, but okay, no, it's just, dude. It's the one thing that I don't understand is U of L games. They're playing crap bum state. UKBB man is sitting there and this is not, you brought it up. This is not even my.
I brought it up because I knew you were going to bring it up. I was like, let's just get it out.
We know it's all true. We know it's true though. Like that's go. You can go to the game, but why wear your UK?
Why have never done that. I've never done it, but I don't think it's bad etiquette. And here's my thing: when I was going through the list of like what's good etiquette, what's bad etiquette, it came down to 2 things for me. Mm-hmm. It came down to 1, you should be a decent human being. 2, you shouldn't be too sensitive. And for me, this one fell into the don't be too sensitive category, where if you go to a game and whether or not your rival is playing you or not, if you wear if I wore a Kentucky shirt to a U of L game,
you're an asshole.
know you're not an asshole, but I think
you're an asshole.
Why? Why are you an asshole? You're not bothering anybody.
Why?
Let me get this out. Here's the thing. You're not bothering anybody. You are literally, you're open. Here's what you're doing.
You're poking. You're trying to bother somebody.
But that's the whole point of that's the whole point of a rivalry. You're trying to needle
not
your
the rivalry game. You're trying to inject yourself into a different.
This does not concern you. Hold
on. Time out.
This isn't about you. The Big Brother card. This is not about you. You are being a little brother by doing this. This does not concern you.
I don't agree. Again, would not do it because what you're doing in that scenario, you are opening yourself up to ridicule. If you wear a UK shirt to a U of L game, you are opening yourself up fairly to ridicule. People are going to call you names. People are going to boo you. You're opening up.
Boo this man.
Yeah, you're opening yourself up to that. So you have to accept that. At the same time, you're not bothering anybody. It's not like
you are.
Yes, you are.
You are. See, this is where you all are too sensitive. You're too sensitive.
It's not.
You're too sensitive,
dude. Like I know you're here for this game, but you remember this guy? This is your bitch right here.
Yeah, this is like
that's part of a rival. That's what makes it fun.
No,
I've never done it because I don't want to go in. I don't want to deal with the like. I don't want to deal with the like trash talk. So I've not done that. But at the same time, you're not bothering anybody.
Yes,
Who cares?
You are.
Then you're being too sensitive. You need to get tough. You need to get thicker skin. Get thicker skin.
No, that's
you're walking around being. You're being a soft ass baby.
No, because you're gonna be the guy who's complaining. Why are they going at me? Why are they whatever?
No. I just said you're opening yourself up.
Beer on me?
That's being an asshole. Again, there's 2 things.
You were being an asshole.
That's not being. You're not bothering anybody wearing a shirt. Again, it comes down to 2 things when it comes to etiquette. Don't be a decent human being. Don't be too sensitive. Pouring a beer on somebody is way more like intrusive than wearing a T-shirt that someone doesn't even have to look at. So again, the fact that you're going to pouring a beer on someone, that's like,
but
that's
you know
stupid.
What the you're doing by going to
you are needling them. You are needling.
Can I talk?
You're needling them.
Are you gonna filibuster me
the entire time? You are needling them.
Filibuster me that the UK fans aren't doing anything wrong. Here's the problem, and here's the reason I think
you're making this a UK U of L thing when you're just.
It is.
You're making it that. You're making it that.
But it is because the reason you're defending is because UK fans.
No, I don't care if a U of L fan wore a U of L shirt to Rupp Arena.
Dude, I've seen like one fan do that.
Okay.
Like I've seen it like one time.
So what?
And I don't know if it's like
you're making this into a UK U of L thing.
The only way that I think it's like commonly accepted because Louisville is the biggest city in Kentucky, and there are Kentucky fans who live here that like because it's so easy and accessible. That's why they do it.
I do not like green eggs. Because like I do not like them, Sam. I am. Would you like them in a house? Would you like?
Because like Louisville fans
because
like Louisville fans for the most part are not going to travel an hour out of their way to go to the Kentucky game and go wear a shirt at a game, then drive all the way back. That's probably why it happens less. But like to me, Louisville fans who do it, you're a jackass. Kentucky fans who do it, you're jackasses. Like find something.
You know
to
why
do
it
better
happens.
With your time.
You know why it happens.
I just disagree, and I think I know what you're going to say. Go ahead. I think I know what you're going to say.
Come on, ESP.
Yes, what?
ESP.
Me
You
too.
know why
But
you can read my
why
mind.
I
Let's
think
go.
that this happens a lot is because I've been put in this situation is where I
You're
go to
a UK fan, invited by a UofL fan to
Bingo.
come with them to the
Bingo.
game.
He went
You're
one
not
time.
wearing the UofL shirt.
Bingo.
He went
because
with us
you're
for
not
one
a
time in
UofL
2012,
fan.
2013. He went to the game.
I've gone to
with me.
multiple games.
And-
I have gotten from work and other relationships. I've gotten invited to games that I had to go to.
Did you wear UK stuff?
No, I just wear like
One
a black
time.
T-shirt.
Just the one time during the UK UofL game. That was
So you're saying that's bad etiquette?
No, I'm not saying it's bad etiquette.
Okay.
I'm saying, but like, have you been accosted when you didn't wear UK stuff? I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
What are you talking
You're
about?
saying you've been multiple times.
I'm saying that I have had to go willingly to a U of L game as a UK fan.
Okay.
And of course,
That's fine if you don't wear
I
UK
just said,
stuff.
but what I'm saying is to the point of what Justin or what Brian was saying is that like a lot of times these UK fans or any fan who's at a game where their team is not playing but they're wearing their team shirt, they're being forced to be there. Because they're either their girlfriend, their wife, their business partner, they're trying to entertain clients. They're having to go to these games that they would not otherwise go to.
See, I can understand that. I don't think that's the case when it comes to UK fans. I think
I
they
think
actively
Justin's right predominantly.
search out.
However, I have been in the situation that Dwight is talking
No,
about.
I mean that's fine, and I get what I think in those circumstances. Just like Tarullo and Strebel and them talking today. Tarullo, she's a UK fan. She's going to go to the UofL game tomorrow. Is she going to wear blue? No. Is she going to wear UK stuff? No. So that's fine. That's fine. Like, go to the game. That's okay.
I agree. I think there is like an aspect of it though that like, and normally you would understand that you're drawing the attention.
You
to
are, 100%.
and you're like reveling in the fact that you're pissing off the
Oh, look
UofL
how cool I am
fans.
over- yeah.
Well, right, and like,
Maddie
that's
Banks,
and
my
that
post
is-
tweet
that
tonight.
is strictly why we're having this conversation
Yes.
right now,
Yeah.
is because we collectively understand that is bad etiquette.
I see. I
You
disagree
should
there.
not
I
be doing
disagree with that.
and you enjoy doing it.
I would
see. I
would
disagree
not
with
wear
that because
Louisville
you all are
shirts
acting
at
like
UK.
you are acting like you all are taking this sports thing too far. Because again, you're acting like you're going into church with a like Hail Satan shirt on.
That is exactly
it's not
what you're
that,
doing.
It is not
That
that,
is 100%
serious.
what you're
it's
doing.
not that serious. You're wearing
Dude,
a
I've
t-shirt.
never thought of that, and I'm going to do that now.
But here's the thing: is that again, I do agree with everything you said until the etiquette part. You're drawing attention to yourself. You're inviting yourself open to ridicule. You are making yourself.
want it.
Yes, you do. You want it. You're inviting it. You are making yourself a spectacle. You're needling your opponent. You're needling your rival.
Yes.
Is it bad etiquette?
Fuck yes.
No,
Yes.
no, it's not bad
It's
etiquette.
bad etiquette.
not-
You're wrong.
because you're
Okay.
not bothering. Again, don't be a bad human being. Don't be too sensitive. In this case, I think if that bothers you, you should boo them. You should talk trash to them. That's the whole fun of a rivalry. That's the fun of it. But
That's the
that's
bad
not.
etiquette
But it's
part.
not bad etiquette because it's part of the rivalry. Here's the thing.
I think we
ignore them.
agree.
If you don't want to draw attention to them, ignore them. It's not. You're being too sensitive. If that really ruins your day, you're being too sensitive.
How many U of L fans show up in red shirts at the UK game?
I don't know. I don't go
Not
to
very
them.
many.
I think I've
I don't
seen
think
How
that there's
many
many.
do you see UK fans showing up at U of L?
every game.
A lot
every
more
game.
than you
there's-
realize. Why?
but do
Because
you
UK fan base is significantly
Larger.
than U of L's,
Thank
and
you,
it,
yes.
and it permeates Louisville as a
Yes.
city,
love
and you're
John Calipari.
guaranteed to have some UK fans show up to U of L games just to experience the experience of going to a football game and enjoying a U of L football game.
or being forced to go because they're with a group of friends
Because
or
it's
they're
a
with
beautiful
a
stadium.
Yeah,
newer
it's
than
close to the
Commonwealth.
airport.
It doesn't have bleachers.
It'll get you out of
See,
town real
It
quick.
lets you drink beer.
I'll be
get
honest.
it.
Like
We can do that at Cardinals
now.
Well, kind of. But yeah, well, they can, yeah. Until Mitch Barnhart doesn't like what he sees and he's going to shut it down. But here's the thing. I think Dwight keeps trying to push it because I've never had a relationship like this where the
I
person,
have.
hey, well, all right, well, thank you. Good for you. The person is like forcing you. Like, if you told me, hey, you go to a UK game, I'm never going to be like, oh, you're forcing me to go to a sports
I know,
game.
you
No, I
just
agree
wouldn't
with
go.
that. I agree
No,
with that.
you just
I was
would
not
go.
I would
forced.
go.
You would
No,
just be
I
like,
would
oh,
go.
No, I would-
I'm sick.
No.
I can't do this. Or
No,
my tummy hurts.
I literally just talked about how I don't have a voice. I literally just talked about how I'd watch a game on TV, like because of the rivalry makes it fun. I don't mind going. I'm just not wearing a
You won't
Louisville shirt.
even go to Keeneland because you hate UK so much, and Keeneland has nothing to do with
Keeneland's
UK.
beautiful.
You won't even go to
just don't- I
Keeneland
honestly-
because of it.
I honestly
Keelan is beautiful.
Don't like
it's
Keeneland
so much
that
better
much.
than
Right,
Churchill
right,
Downs.
right.
I don't. I mean, I don't really like either one, to be honest.
I love Churchill Downs.
It's
but
just not
King's
fun.
So much
I don't
better.
have a lot of fun at race. I mean,
Yeah, it's in Lexington. It's not a
I
good
hate
place.
making money.
Dude made me put a tie on. I was like, really? I'm wearing a button-down shirt. We're good. We're good, bro. He made me put
Keelan?
Now, see, now that's bad
wear
etiquette.
ties.
Now we're talking about etiquette. That's bad
Okay.
etiquette. Looking like a slob.
All right, moving on.
Anyways.
All right, so clearly
yeah,
Dwight
we
wanted
disagree.
to talk about one that all three of us agreed on.
I didn't
Yeah.
see. I just wanted to get that out of the way because I knew
Yes.
that was going to be on your head.
Yes.
Again, I think it all boils down to don't be a bad human being. Don't be too sensitive.
Yeah.
What,
Okay,
what else?
so-
What else? What else did you guys have?
So I'm guilty of this, and I will always be guilty of this because I think I called it out at one point, and I realized that I'm like the habitual offender. Saying "we" when you mean the
No, I didn't
14 that's
come up.
playing on the field, you're not a part of that team, bro. That's not "we," but it is.
It is.
It is.
I
It is. I
completely
disagree.
say "we" all day long because I'm more invested in those kids playing.
100%. They're
Like-
going to transfer. They're going to get
Yes.
in the portal.
Yes.
I'm not getting in the portal. I'm here to stay.
Here's okay.
I
yeah.
actually paid for college. I paid. They didn't even pay for this college.
Still paying for
I'm
it.
still paying for college. It's we, bitch.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's funny that you bring that up because I remember that. I remember like in high school, that was the take somebody had. It's like, it's not we, bro. If you go to school, you can say we. Just because you don't play in the goddamn team doesn't mean you can't say we.
Right.
But like just what you brought up is the point that like I bring up, especially when it comes to Louisville basketball.
Yes.
I am so sick of hearing guys who Donovan Mitchell's one, and then there's other guys here locally.
Rest in peace.
That play.
R.I.P.
He's alive. That's the issue that I have because, especially here lately, and I hate to continue to come back to this guy, but until he's gone, until his career at the University of Louisville is dead, Kenny Payne. One of my biggest issues that I have is you have the fans have been overthrown by the players, and it's become players saying we need to have former players. We need player man who played at Louisville, being at Louisville, and all this stuff like that. And like you don't know because you didn't play Louisville basketball. I'm sorry. I have been a Louisville basketball fan since I was a child. Like I've been here long before you've been here, and I'll be here long after that you've been here. I'm sorry, Donovan Mitchell, who played here for a year and a half, had a cup of coffee at the University of Louisville. You don't know about Louisville basketball more than I know about Louisville basketball. You showed up. You barely did during your time at Louisville, and you left, and congratulations, you did well at the NBA, but you don't know about Louisville basketball. So don't tell me. Pisses me off though, because I keep seeing all these, like the thing, like I talk with other people like that. The one thing I hate is when people say, and like Issel and people like that do this, where they say, well, I played basketball, so I know. And I'm like, bro, just because my fat ass may physically not be capable of dunking off the backboard and stuff like that, doesn't mean that I don't know fucking basketball. That doesn't mean that I don't know football, that I don't know these sports. I sit my fat ass down and probably watch more games than you watch as somebody who's played it. So don't tell me that it's not we. I put more money into this university than you probably have.
You need to watch Ted Lasso season 3. I don't know what episode's in, but it summed up perfectly how I feel as a fan and how coaches and players should feel when they're playing for said team.
You come and go, you're filling a role, but you ain't it.
That no. You come and go. We are renting the team. We are the coaching staff with the players. We're doing our part right now, but you guys own it. You're the fans. You're
Yeah.
the guys who show up day in, day out. You're the ones who are going to be here in 20 years when I'm not.
Yeah.
Like
You're the ones with no life. I
No,
have a life.
no.
I'll go and use.
No.
No, but you're the guys
Genuinely,
investing
Ted
into
Lasso
it.
understood the importance for the community, for AFC Richmond, that those people who show up for every single game or watch every game are,
That's
hey,
ASMR.
this is a throwback. This is me with CYPB. This is exactly what happened. And I'm about to chug that right now and piss you off like ass.
Yeah, but I'm finishing my beer and then I'm going to have my mixers. It's so good. Go ahead.
No, but real talk, like it is incredibly important for coaches and players to understand how important it is to the fans, and that the only reason that they are there and now making money off of it is because those fans exist and sit in those seats and genuinely dedicate their lives to supporting that specific brand.
Yeah, let's be real. If someone truly feels like you're being dumb by saying we, then they can just off. Like there's
I agree
nothing.
1,000,000%.
There's nothing to get upset about.
10 years
with that.
ago, I might have not felt that way.
Yeah.
Now
You
there's
are
no question.
you are
I
the
am
community.
yes.
You are the fan base. The
Yes.
fan base is part of the program.
Especially-
Without a fan base, there is no program.
Especially, and I'm not trying to do this to like overshadow people that didn't, but like you and me and Brian, we went to the universities we're a fan of.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to. You can be a fan of it, and not go to the university.
Sure.
But we've invested more into that because you spent the time there. You did that. You went to the games, all that stuff.
You were smart
paid
enough to get in.
Yeah, you were in the 90. You were in the
it's not
90.
hard to get into a public college.
Hold on. You were in the 95 percentile that got in. Unlike Zoldomir, or wait. Oh, damn it.
yes, you've already messed it up.
Oh,
Can't speak
yeah.
English. Can you
Yeah.
speak wherever country he's
Serbian?
from?
English, do you speak it? No, I don't speak
I know
Serbian.
I couldn't pass it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Serbian. Whatever. Anyways. Yeah,
Is he from Eastern
Yeah,
Europe?
I don't know
I
where
think
he's
he's
from.
Serbian. I'm pretty sure he's Serbian. I don't know that for sure, but I'm going to get Serbian.
All right, I got one for you guys, real quick.
right. It's a fake.
Sitting or standing at games.
Stan,
Okay.
I don't give a shit. I'm here.
What do you think? So, like, if
Okay.
you're the guy, okay, what do you got?
It's the same thing I feel for
Tell me what you
concerts.
No, I want to know. What
do you think?
Okay.
It's the same thing for concerts. I'm there. I'm gonna enjoy it. If like going down, I'm standing up. I'm cheering. I don't give a if you're behind me, sitting your ass down. Get your ass up. Cheer. Like that's what we're here for. I'm not here to sit down in my seat and like just relax.
This is
like,
a-
I'm trying to provide my energy to this collective. Like
So Brian is the guy I hate because
you're welcome.
because in my opinion, and I don't get super bothered by like sports etiquette, but I think that you just need to go with the crowd. Like if it's third down or your team is like making a comeback in basketball, everyone's riled up, everyone stands, you should stand.
You got me all wrong.
But
guy.
again, here's
you
the
got
thing.
me all wrong, guy.
Here's the thing.
You're right.
If it is first down and like
Yeah.
the other team just like ran for 50 yards, everyone around you is sitting down, and you're the one guy who's standing up and yelling at everyone around you like, "Get up! What's wrong with you guys?"
Yeah, I'm
you're
not
the
that guy.
asshole.
I'm not that guy.
You need to just chill out.
No, I agree.
Go with the crowd. If the crowd's getting into it, you get into it. Stand up. If they're sitting down, chill out. Sit down.
Okay.
There are people who are like down in front. And
Oh,
it's
no,
like,
no.
dude. Like, now is the time to get up and
Yeah.
get loud, and like you're here to support your team.
Agreed.
I'm not the asshole showing up in the first quarter. Man, like, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. When someone's like telling me to stand up during a TV timeout or it's first down, I'm like, no, this is a 3-hour game. I'm
Yeah.
going to reserve my energy for when it's
That's fair.
right.
I'm mixed on this. I mostly disagree with what you're saying, but
of course.
I think I mostly agree with what you're saying.
okay.
But what I think is, I think when it comes to being a fan of a team that you really care about, I think it is not a passive spectator sport. It is an active spectator. So you're going to be heavily involved. Like if you're going, especially games like UofL UK, those games, you're gonna be fucking up the entire game. Expect to be standing up the entire game.
Yeah.
Expect to have very little sitting time because you are trying to do your part to will the team to a victory. And sometimes that kind of energy boost does make a difference. And it does frustrate me because I've been a fan of Louisville for so long, and so long during, especially at Freedom Hall. And now at the Yum Center, before Kenny Payne killed the basketball program, you had the sweater group. You had the old men, the old ladies who had the money. Who, yeah, I understand they have the money, so they're sitting down low, but they're just sitting their ass there quietly watching the game. Yeah. There's a dude with a newspaper sitting there in the stands, and I'm like, bro, I get it. You got money. You want to pretend like you care about sports or whatever. That's fine. Sure. But like, that's not
My
it, bro.
80-year-old grandma there, like getting
Yeah.
crunk. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like at some point, like you need to be cheering, but I do understand. Yeah, if I'm the only guy standing up,
You need to read the room.
It's a 20-point game. UofL's up or whatever, and you're not doing much.
Right.
No,
Read the room.
You can sit down, enjoy your nachos,
Yeah.
bro. Go get you some nachos.
Read the
get
room.
you a Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, and let's go.
I do think too that I think that you should be able to stand or sit regardless whenever you want. So
Yeah.
if you're standing and you're cheering for your team and you're not yelling at everyone else to join you in standing, someone shouldn't yell at you to sit down. Be like, oh, sit down. Like, no, you're at a game. Like, if you want to stand up and cheer, that's your right. But also, it's their right to sit too. So, like, if they're sitting down, don't yell at someone to stand up. Like, just just do your thing. Do your thing. Read the room. Just chill out.
If it's third down, we got to make some noise. I'm going to yell at everybody. I'm not yelling at anybody individually.
Okay. As long as you're not yelling.
I'm saying, hey, everybody, come on, help us out. But
there are moments, though, where if everybody's getting hype and you're the prick who's just sitting there like, I don't want to
But I would just ignore them. It is bad etiquette. I agree it's bad etiquette to do that. I agree it's bad etiquette to be that guy unless you're handicapped. But otherwise,
no, they piss me off more than anybody. They never get up.
Get the up.
It's bad.
Get out of your wheelchair.
It's bad
I've
etiquette.
seen people that have the transforming wheelchairs that pushes them into standing
up and they just fall over.
You need to do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you're poor.
Yeah. I agree. Like, you should, if everyone is standing and cheering, you should stand and cheer. But I also would not call that person out individually and be like, you. Yeah. So, anyways, that's one I had circled.
All right, we agreed too much on the sports fan etiquette bullshit.
Okay, I've got one.
All right.
The one thing that annoys me the most is this could be any game of football, basketball, whatever. The guy who is ESPN play-by-play guy the entire time during the game, and he's giving me the play-by-play breakdown, he's telling just vocally around everybody who's around him what's going on and what's happening. Dude, we have eyes. We don't need you. Yes. I don't need you, Kirk Herbstreit, to tell me what just happened.
No, worse than that is the guy that predicts every play.
Yes.
That's the worst.
Yep.
There was one guy I went to a baseball game with.
It's a fake.
Every single pitch, he's like, curveball here, curveball. And every time, 90 miles per hour fastball. I'm just like, are you done predicting every single pitch? Like, stop.
Yep.
I agree. Let the game breathe. Let the game speak for itself.
Blitz. I can't tell if it's like the guy is trying to like impress like a girlfriend or something like, or like the other guys around him. But I'm like, dude, I'm not here
don't
for
know
that.
what's going on anyway. It's fine. You can say whatever you want. And they'll believe you.
Similarly, like when I listen to sports radio, I'm not listening to it for a intrinsic, breakdown of player by player. I'm looking for just dudes having fun talking sports.
Yeah,
and like I don't need that. Yeah. I don't need your knowledge. I don't need you.
Yeah, talk
Chris
about.
Fowler.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like we're all like pretty much on the same page with most of this.
I think that if someone gets real quick, I think we can all agree. If someone gets injured, you got to cheer, right? Like if another player on a team you hate gets injured, you got to cheer.
I got to be honest.
Silently on the inside?
No.
Sure. On outside, never.
No, I got to be honest. I got to be honest.
I hear you.
I mean, Tim Tebow got knocked the out in Lexington.
That's
we
different.
All cheered. No, we didn't cheer. It was actually kind of weird because I was at that game.
God,
Tebow
loves him.
Got completely knocked the out.
Yeah.
And everyone cheered like crazy because no, because we didn't know he's hurt.
I know.
But
that means good things for us. Right.
But he got knocked out.
Did you pray for him?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is everyone cheered because it was a sweet sack. He didn't get up.
Right.
And even in Lexington, like
kill him.
No, everyone was silent. And I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Okay.
Like so I feel like you can never, if you ever cheer for an injury, you know what? It happens more often when a player for your team gets injured and you don't like that player. Yeah. Like Tim Couch when he got injured playing for the Browns and they cheered because he got rocked. You never cheer when someone gets injured. I think that is a fair statement.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it happened. Tim Couch got cheered when he got knocked out by the Browns fans.
Man.
Yeah.
See, this is hard for me because...
Oh, because you like to do this?
No, there's part of me that's just kind of like, again, I go back to my guy, Lachlan McClain. He had a take, which was, can we do something about these injured players? Like, they're just taking way too long. Can we just somebody drag their corpse off the field and let's get the game going? Like, you can take care of this stuff 20 feet over there. Like, you can deal with it 20 feet over
agree
there
with that.
instead of leaving him. But
just don't cheer about it.
I also, historically... I was there at the Louisville Rutgers game where Eric LeGrand was paralyzed.
Yeah.
So I feel like
you never know. I'm sorry, Lachlan McClain's not a medical doctor.
Thank you.
like there are opportunities in which hits could be taken so hard that you cause permanent damage against
You
the
move
person.
them.
95%
They are
of the
human
time.
beings first. They are athletes second. Like you have to genuinely worry about their well-being first.
But the only
Always. That's why you get down on a knee
but
and like you're concerned for them. Like,
Yeah.
95% of the time, they're just being a little bitch boy. And they're just trying to.
hey, I don't
you know
disagree
what I
with
mean?
what you're saying, but you
Yeah.
never know the other
never
5% where somebody like
I remember-
legitimately has a life-changing
Yeah.
injury.
Okay, like the Eric LeGrand one I knew because we were like 40 minutes in, and I'm like, okay, are we gonna start playing?
Yeah,
and
that's
then I
different.
knew like something was not good here.
Sure.
So that makes sense, but like for the most part, it's just people
No, I agree.
milking it.
Yeah.
And like people love to crush.
Yeah, I mean,
football. Look at your football.
Well, that's what I was about to say. People love to crush soccer about it.
Yes.
Same situation. Drag them off the field. If
Yes.
they're not going to play, if they're going to be a little bitch about it, drag them off.
Yeah.
I'm like, unless I see you Kevin Ware out there with a boat hanging out, I don't need you lying there.
Interesting. All right, Brian.
Yeah, Brian kept trying.
What were you going to say?
There's only a very small amount of times in which it is necessary for you as a fan to get out of the seat and get on the field. And it's not after a everyday win. Like it has to be meaningful. It has to mean something. It has to be bigger than just we beat them again. Like it's got to be something life changing. It's got to be school changing. Don't get the on the field for no reason. Like it loses its value when you as a fan say, "Oh, rest the field, let's go! Come on, everybody, let's go!" Like I understand you as a college student want to enjoy and have that experience. However, it's got to be purposeful. It's bad sports etiquette if you rush the field because you beat your rival or
I
because
agree.
you beat your everyday.
think-
It shows less of you.
Yeah, I agree.
I think in the circumstance, I think you need to have perspective, though. I think we're talking from Louisville, Kentucky point of view. Like okay. Most of the time, when they rush the field or rush the court,
If we
it is
beat Bama.
beating a top 25 team,
If UofL beat Bama right now,
you should.
I guarantee you they're rushing the field.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
like,
100%.
Dude, wait.
100%.
Louisville rushed the field against fucking Wake Forest, and I died inside
That's-
last year.
that is
because
my
Wake
point.
Forest was top 10 last year.
That
and
is my
shows
point.
me how pathetic the fans are now.
Right.
Because you have people that are going to the University of Louisville that don't fucking know the history and don't know anything about football.
That's my point.
And that's what dude, that's what I'm worried about with basketball now, with it dying. That that shit's gonna happen. Dude, nobody has rushed the court at Louisville. I think the last time they really rushed the court was against Syracuse, the final game at Freedom Hall.
Right.
But that was because it was the final game at Freedom Hall.
Yeah.
Oh, if you are Wake Forest and you beat
Right.
Bama, fine. I
Have
don't care.
some
But if you're
self-respect.
Louisville, if you're Kentucky,
Right.
if you're any of these top teams, do not do it.
I'm so torn on this one. I'm so torn on
Y'all have
this.
done it so many times against
You UK football or basketball? Because basketball never does.
Football.
UK football.
Did they do it to Florida last year?
They should have.
Hell yeah, we did. It was awesome. That's UK football. You're like, know who you are. We know who we are. We're UK football. We never beat Florida, but we have lately. But still, no. I think that I don't know, and it comes down to also like where your program has been to. Because let's say a program that has history that has been just god awful, like let's say Georgetown, right? Basketball used to be amazing.
Yeah.
Terrible in recent years. Let's
Yeah.
say that they had they beat Duke at home. Duke's number 1 seed. Like, I'm okay, or not number 1 seed, but number 1 ranked in the country.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that because
I'm
it's
not.
been a long time.
I'm not.
It's been so long. Like, I'll give you one example of
You're a historic program, man. You've won
but you've been so bad. It's a release. It's a release. It's a. Yes.
I don't think it's necessary. Like if you're the Jackrabbits, yeah, I understand why you're showing up. Like,
I don't know, man. I think it's a bunch of college kids that want to have fun. Again, I don't agree with you. You should not rush the field because you beat your rival. Like if it's two evenly matched teams.
If I were a player that played for one of those '80s Georgetown teams and I saw that, I would be disgusted. I understand when I say '80s. That's a long time ago.
Yes, it was.
But it's still like. I mean, like I look at like if I played for Louisville in 2013 when they won the championship, I would be disgusted at them rushing the court for anybody. Like now, like it wouldn't surprise me though because of where they are.
It doesn't. I just don't. I don't know. I have a hard
'Cause UofL's
time.
dead.
I have a hard
It is.
time
It's
judging college kids wanting to have fun when they have been so bad. Those college kids that are at Georgetown, they don't remember those teams.
Yeah.
They're all of their life. Georgetown has been garbage, and so to see them like win a meaningful game, like
I
you were
hate
talking
Dwight's take, but I totally agree.
yeah, because they have not they like their granddads be like Georgetown back in Patrick Ewing,
yeah.
like they don't know that.
It didn't even exist, guys.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking
Now,
about? It happened
like-
so long ago. I didn't live.
Yeah, now like if LSU beats Alabama in football, no, that's your rival.
Yeah.
Like you're
Right.
whatever, you know what I mean? Like, but again, I think that if a program, even if it has a history, has been down long enough, I think it could happen.
Okay, how long does it have to be?
20 plus at
Okay,
least.
okay,
Yeah, I think
okay.
that's fair.
Okay, that's fair. I can buy that. 'cause,
And
like-
Georgetown's totally in that.
like
It's such a the rushing the field thing to me is such a weird
Like,
gray area to
but
me.
like to be clear though, like say Kenny Payne miraculously beats a really good team this year,
Yeah,
somehow.
regular season.
and that happens, like that
Yeah.
should not
That's
happen.
disgusting.
Right.
It's okay. It is.
You should not
Okay.
rush the court. No,
Yeah, okay,
absolutely
thank you.
not.
That's
No,
all
we
I
should
ask.
have some
Yeah.
self-respect and say, hey, U of L is getting back. It's not dead anymore.
I mean, we've had that discussion with it's one of the reasons the whole Kentucky Indiana thing, because it's been a long time, but like Indiana when they rush,
They're still
Watford and all,
celebrating
dude, they
that.
don't stop
to
it.
this day.
Yeah.
They're still
No,
they
they had-
recreated it.
yes,
They
yes.
recreated the shot with him. And I'm like,
Yes.
you guys realize that game was played in December.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you realize you played again in March Madness and lost to that same team, right? Like
That's their
you're
greatest-
still
it is,
celebrating that.
I do remember that shot.
Yeah, I do too. I remember exactly where I was when it happened.
I
And
was
the weirdest.
very
I
happy
remember
about
I
it.
was.
The weirdest thing about that shot was when it happened. I was like, "Well, that kind of sucked." I just didn't think of it as having any
It
real
wasn't like
meaning.
a lot. Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
dang, that kind of blew. Like
Yeah.
that sucked. But then I'm like, I'd never in my wildest dreams thought that was a shot that would still be being replayed.
Sure.
like,
I'll
be honest,
20 years
though.
later.
That's fair.
10
Okay.
years later, whatever.
I feel like
When
maybe-
you're in Indiana and you don't have anything else to live
I
for.
feel
Yeah.
like you feel the same way as a rival fan, just not because of Indiana, but because it keeps getting brought back up.
Right.
It is funny.
It's more enjoyable.
It's more funny
now.
because like
Any
It's
others?
like,
Any
okay,
others,
my
guys?
brothers. No, like legitimately, like obviously, like all right, starting the wave. Like, come on, dude. Like,
You're making
we
me
don't
work.
need that.
But if it gets going, you got to participate.
Like once it's up and going, all right, like here I am.
Well, do you any opinion when it comes to the dress of people at games? I know people get
The
pissed
less
all the
clothes, the
time.
better.
So like Brian and I were, I don't want to say we're culpable of doing this, but we did it, and I actually think it's a positive thing. But like the SEC attire at football games, the tie, white shirt, khakis kind of thing. Brian and I both did that for Louisville
I had
games.
U of L
and there are people there
pants.
who were probably a lot of Dixie Highway, but they're all very pissed off. Why are you dressed like that? You don't need to dress like that. Wear your cutoff t-shirt. And now Brian wears cutoff t-shirts.
I think it's interesting because I literally never had that experience. I only had people compliment me.
I had a lot of people
They
be
said,
like,
"Damn, where did you get those pants?" And I said, "My mama sold them all."
Coles,
Yeah.
bro.
Now, this is the same for me as like someone wearing a U of L shirt to a UK game. Like, I don't care what you're wearing. Like,
Okay.
it doesn't affect me.
I just
So
think
wear
some
what you
people-
want.
I think some people just get like, they think it's douchey or something like that.
I mean, I might like secretly judge you, but I'm not gonna. I don't care.
I
Like, it's not
secretly
bad
judge
etiquette.
everybody
It's not
all the
bad-
time, always. What are you
Yeah,
talking
exactly.
about?
It's not bad etiquette.
I don't know,
It's
but,
not
like,
any different than you walking down the street and me being like, "Oh,
But,
okay,
like,
look at that guy."
See, the way I look at it, like personally, I wish Louisville was more like that because I look at real SEC schools during, in October. You will watch these big games and you will see a ton of dudes that look like that, girls wearing sundresses and stuff like that. Like it's a nicer look, but it's just
UK games.
they're organized and they know what they're doing. when it
Yeah,
comes to
but
sport.
it's so
And not just a bunch
uncomfortable.
of
I don't want to
dudes.
go to a freaking football game with a freaking bow tie on.
But I
Like, I'm
wasn't
trying to
as
get
fat.
shitty.
I felt like it was
I'm
fine.
not. I wear maybe at the most. I'll wear a polo. I'm not wearing a freaking tie to a football game. Like the coach doesn't even wear a tie to the football game.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, Al Golden did. Al Golden's the last one that I remember
Like,
that
you
wore.
can.
And he was sweaty as in Miami doing that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's not bad etiquette. Like you
Yeah.
can wear whatever you want, but I mean, I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, I just know people had like some strong opinions on that.
Quick
before.
question.
Okay.
Seats. If a seat closer, a better seat
You
is
get
left.
as close as you possibly can. Always, it does not matter what
I
you
knew
buy.
Brian was gonna say
you
that.
just get down there because nobody gonna stop
I
you.
knew Brian was gonna say
Like
that.
you want to see it, and you need to buy the cheapest seats.
I knew that was gonna. I knew Brian was gonna say that.
I'm cost effective.
My personal
Yeah.
opinion is you wait till like at least halftime. Probably more likely halftime because what I hate is the motherfuckers who I get because I usually don't get to a lot of games on time. I get there and Jimbo's already sitting in my seats and looking at me annoyed when, because I have to be the white dude who's pulling out the ticket and being like, sir,
Why are you bringing race into this?
sir, because I'm white.
Yeah, but why do you have to say the white?
Yeah,
dude?
who are you saying?
Yeah, who are
I'm
you
white
saying this
too.
to? Yeah.
Well, it's to another.
I hate to be the white dude here, but
Well, it's usually to another white dude, but at the same time, but it's like, sir,
That Asian gentleman is in my seat.
I always
22A is mine.
I always love how they have to look at their ticket and look
Yeah.
all confused, like, what?
You know
Oh
what you
wait,
did.
I'm like way back there.
You mean I'm in 244, not
Wait,
144?
hold up.
Yeah,
You mean-
I think I actually agree with Justin on this one. I think you have to wait a reasonable amount of time, probably halftime.
If you're going to be a cheap ass, you wait a little
but
bit.
I'm not waiting till halftime.
But here's the thing: at
it
halftime,
depends
I
what
do
kind of
think
game it is.
I do think it's not bad if it's halftime that the seat you've been eyeing is open. I think you're good to go. I think you can.
I
Try
think
it.
you need to eye that seat early, and you need to get there early because somebody else gonna beat
Okay.
you.
Brian's take is you go
I
to that
am the
seat
cheap
first. Go to your seat. You go straight to their
You
seat.
take the risk that somebody's gonna
It's
get
general
you out.
admission.
The most that I could do was like early second quarter because here's the thing. It depends. on
That's where
first
I'm
off,
at. That's where I'm
It depends on the game because for the most part, let's not kid ourselves. Since COVID, it's a different ball game. Everybody's out here telling me, "Oh, Murray State's gonna be sold out for Jeff Prop." No, the it isn't. You know why? Because one, it's Murray State, and two, people know they can get a better experience watching the game at home,
Right.
sitting there eating their B-dubs or whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
It's a much better experience. I'm sorry, I don't want to spend $30, whatever. Even the cheapest is still pretty expensive to go watch Murray State in Louisville and watch it from a piss poor vantage.
Yeah.
While also, if you have kids, got to go buy drinks, got to go buy food, got to go buy a foam finger to make them,
What are you talking about? This is all you. This is
be entertained.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with your kids.
I want my foam finger. I don't,
Right.
and I want my barbecue nachos, dude. Louisville,
Real talk.
Those barbecue
Yes.
nachos were the best thing I've
Yes.
ever had. In
Where
my
did they
life.
go?
I know. I don't know. They got rid of it.
I couldn't get them the last two
cried.
times I went. Yeah.
I cried, but I know UK loves it. It's just Erler's ice
We got our ice cream.
It's Erler's.
It's best.
I love
it's
it.
the
I love
best.
Erler's.
Even like Jay Billis goes and gets his ice cream.
I love Erler's, but the problem is they act like it's Rupperina ice cream. It's Erler's ice cream. It's
Rupperina.
And I know Erler's is only at the state fair.
Justin's
and
gonna shit on
Freedom Hall.
anything.
No.
Kentucky, Lexington, it doesn't
No,
matter.
what I'm saying is like just call it Erler's. That's what it is.
It's called ice
I
cream.
love Erler's.
It's called Rupperina
I
ice
miss.
cream.
We had an Erler's in Middletown, no longer. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been like 20 years since that's been there. But
has, yeah.
So we have our draft, and it was my turn to pick the draft topic. So I decided that I wanted to draft the top minor embarrassments that will ruin your day.
It's so specific.
It is so, and that's
It's
what
so
that's
not
the,
specific, but
that's the
specific.
best. Those are
Yeah.
the best drafts.
With the very first pick in the minor inconveniences,
Embarrassments.
Damn it, Brian. And I think the very first one for me is going to be taking a piss and not fully drying off. This is the exact reason why we were going to talk about this before. This is why I dab, because I don't need somebody to come out thinking that I am a piss pants, that I am somebody who cannot properly take care of himself.
But
I
you
am
are.
not somebody who knows how to shake it off. I can shake it off and get it cleaned off and going where it goes. I don't want the piss stain to sit a little too high on my pants, if you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Just in case
You don't want
I'm
people
giving
to
you the wrong
judge.
idea.
You don't want people to judge
It's
how
not-
tiny your pee-pee is.
Yes, it's not exactly. Some people are growers, some people are showers. You know what I'm saying?
I think that we need to save this for a dude debate because I think the fact that you dab your penis is the gayest shit I've ever heard
It's
in my
fine.
life.
I dab it off. I've seen women ask why men don't dab it off, and I think they are absolutely correct. You should.
They
because
say that,
I
but then
don't
if they
wanna
knew
risk
that you
it.
really did it, they would
No,
like
they
run
wouldn't.
away.
No, they wouldn't.
They
wouldn't.
would.
I am a married man. I'm happily
I'm
married.
super surprised by
I don't
that,
know
too.
how happy she is, but we are
surprised
married.
you're married.
We are married. I don't know how happy she is, but it's fine. But I'm just saying, I'd rather be a dabber than be somebody who just has piss pants sitting there, and you're looking at me, and as I'm walking into the room, that's the first thing you're gonna see is that wet piss stain on my pants.
And it's going to be like right below the belt.
Yes, it's right there. Like, oh my, like, how did it get higher? How is it that high? Your pelvis.
Yeah. No, that's a good pick.
How's it by your belly button?
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Wait, do women judge you based upon how high your pee stains are?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, they do. They know.
100%.
That's how they tell.
That's a good pick. I didn't have it, but I just didn't think of it. But that's a good one. That's a very good
I've just
one.
never been in that position to have to worry.
I've never had to worry about it. No, that's a good pick. All right, I'm ready for mine. I'm surprised that this didn't go number one. With my first pick, I'm going with saying thanks you to when it doesn't make any sense. So if the waiter says, enjoy your meal, you say thanks you to. That will ruin my day. I won't even want to eat my food. I'll just not eat. I'll just sit there and think about what just transpired.
Enjoy your movie.
Or enjoy your movie, thanks you too. I'm like, oh, I can't enjoy this movie. When you get on a flight, have a nice flight, thanks you too. Okay.
This is actually one I don't
It will
want to
ruin my
disagree
day.
with you, but I want to say this is one where maybe I'm a sociopath, and I think it's their f***ing fault. I think it's your fault.
You teed it up.
It's your fault for not saying something that is easily responded to.
But
that is okay. Thanks.
That
have a good day.
shows how little we literally listen to people when we talk. We are so programmed to just have these automatic responses where AI can literally talk for us now.
Yes, please, thank you. Let's
because
go.
we cannot even think anymore. We are literally programmed to just say, "Hi, how are you doing? Good. How are you? Fine, thanks. We have these little tiny.
It's actually the experiences that we've had with those conversations before, and us believing that we've already predetermined what you should say based upon.
But the fact that a waiter is saying "enjoy your meal" that is a completely normal response. A completely normal thing to say. Yeah. And the fact that I'm telling them you enjoy your meal while you're serving me is stupid, and I feel like an asshole, and I don't even want to eat anymore.
This may also lead into like
I've never wanted to eat anymore.
What I brought up as like a sociopathic tendency, which is like, I care so little about what you have to say to me. I want this interaction with you to be done as quickly as possible.
All right, so my turn.
Please give me something.
Let's go with my pick now. Is that what you're saying? What?
Fine. Okay. Yeah.
I agree. I understand. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, it bothers me that I basically admitted to that person, I didn't listen to a word you said because I already knew what I was going to say back to you. And it upsets me. Yep. So that's my number one. And I feel like it happens all the time. It happens way too much.
It happens more often than I'd like to admit.
Yep.
Ripping your pants.
That's not very minor, though.
It might not
That's
seem
pretty major.
It might not seem minor to you guys. However, it happens enough times to me that it's become pretty minor. I just said "f it" and just worn it for the rest of the day. But I mean, there's nothing worse when you're a fat guy than ripping your pants, because like skinny guys don't do that. Like,
I've done it once.
They can move around and like in their pants and like not rip them. Like, how insane is that? Like, I have to be careful. Like, when I'm wearing my dress pants, like, you never know when, like, you have to bend over and pick up something for somebody, and all of a sudden, like, there it is. All right, so that's number one. Number two.
Yep, that's a good one.
Are you already done? Okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
All right.
That's a good one. It's pretty major, though, but yeah.
As a fat guy,
all
fat guy ones.
As a fat guy, it's a little hard because, like, you get stains on your shirt.
Yeah, I had that on my list.
And, like, you know,
and I even said
everybody's
it's a fat guy
thinking,
problem.
the only reason you got the stain on your shirt is because you're a fat piece of shit. You ain't no you fat piece of shit.
Brian was the culprit of this growing up. He would always get salsa on his shirt.
You were the sloppiest mother of all time.
You know what's funny is I went to Ellen Paul with Granddad over the weekend, and guess what? I got salsa on my shirt. All right, so real talk. Stains are difficult because, like, you gotta wear it for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta wait till you get home, and like
you're the sloppy guy.
You literally have to wear it. Like, you know, other people are judging you when they're saying that, and you're like, you fat piece of shit. You ate lunch not well.
You couldn't get it quick enough into your fat face that it spilled all over the place.
And like, if you're skinny, like, yeah, stain sucks, but like, it's not that big of a deal because you're not fat. But if you're fat, it's like, all you're doing all day is eating, you fat piece of shit.
and he couldn't even put in your mouth.
Couldn't even make it to your mouth. You just smeared on your shirt.
That stain is a square foot. It is that big.
Guys, don't expect much from me for the next two picks.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
on.
Now I had it on my list, but yeah. Oh man. All right. So this next one is, I think, a classic, and it sucks, and it will haunt you all day, and even though it shouldn't. But waving at somebody who's waving at the person behind you.
I did that not too long ago. Oh my God.
It is the worst, because what do you do? Like, where do you go?
How do you explain that?
Where do you go to hide? You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
they're there. The person behind you, they've got you caught in the middle. You're monkeying the middle now. So where do you go? Do you go left? You go right? How do you escape this situation?
The way that I approach it is I try to think.
Run as fast as you can.
My imagination, or the way
In what direction?
what I think is, for the most part, this person had their attention on their target.
Right.
They
couldn't possibly have focused on me.
Hopefully they didn't
seeing
see
that.
the wavy flag.
They didn't see the person behind them, those assholes.
Hopefully they didn't see me flailing
Yes.
my hands up and down in the air.
Right.
But otherwise, I will just go away. Or I'll pretend like I also saw somebody else.
Yeah.
Who
But,
just happened to be at the exact same moment. There's my wife and child.
Oh yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, you wave and you notice
Yeah.
they're not, and then you're like, you point to them. You go, yeah.
What's up good? What's up good? Bravo, Dwight. That was pretty decent.
That's mine. I think it'll haunt me. It'll haunt your day, and you're stuck again. You're monkeying the middle now. You're between two people that now know that you just waved at someone you
idiot.
don't know.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. All right, so that's mine.
All right. Now it moves back to me. I go back to back picks.
Yeah,
so.
back to back.
All right, with my next pick in the draft, I hate to be this guy, but we're going to go back to the farting friggin' episode once again. And it's going to be farting in public and trying to hide it, but immediately being caught. Specifically, going up and down aisles at a grocery store or another kind of store. You know it because you're the only one there. You feel like you're comfortable. You know that you're like, I can just release this thing and get away with it. And as soon as you get it out, either A, it's loud and somebody hears it, or B, it's always a young, attractive woman who's about to come down the aisle, and you have to flee, but she's seen you already. She knows who's done it.
You leave,
and
doesn't
she
matter.
walks face first into that wall of gassy ass, and that's what you have to deal with.
You know, I think it's funny about what your statement just was.
Did you do it on the way here?
No. God, no.
Okay,
I'm not that gross.
you'll just do it right next to her.
Your statement was a young, attractive girl. That insinuates to me that you have the premonition, or you have the premise that, like, you should care. Like,
Yeah.
if that
Yeah.
young, attractive girl...
you should.
Yeah, you
I
should.
don't.
I do.
I don't care if it's a young, attractive guy or girl or old person.
Well, if it's a dude,
You
I'm just
still-
like,
If I need to rip some ass, I'm going to rip some ass. And if it's young, if it's hot, if it's old, if it's gross,
You see, you're lying on
you're
yourself.
going to enjoy
You're
it.
lying on yourself,
Yeah.
because even when I pick the farting in the elevator, you go, it's so much worse when it's a girl, hot chick.
yeah.
So
yeah,
you're
you did.
contradicting
you did say
yourself.
that. Yeah, you did.
We've got you on camera.
We do. We have that. Yeah, it's I think it's in a clip. Yeah.
It's in a clip. But yeah, it does suck, because
That was a lie.
deep down, everyone wants to be. Even though we're not, we're old, we're ugly.
He's going through a crisis
I'm
right
thinking
now.
right now. I'm
Even
thinking.
though all these things are true,
Do I?
we still want to be as attractive as possible.
Yeah.
And so when someone that is objectively attractive looks at you with disgust,
Yep.
it makes you feel bad.
It doesn't matter if you're married with 7 kids.
No.
And you have no intention of trying to do anything.
Yeah.
But you just want somebody to be like, you just want the opportunity that somebody be like, that's another attractive person.
Yeah.
But
Well, the fact that they look at you just like you're a disgusting
as soon
human
as
being.
you defecate a fart out of your ass,
defecate and fart.
yes,
I don't think defecating and farting are the same things, but
it's fine.
I genuinely agree with like why you think that. However, I think I'm so far removed at this point that I'm really not that concerned.
Okay, what about this? What if it's a little old lady who is just trying to go out
I
her
think
day?
that's hilarious.
Better.
That's good. I'm good with that.
Yeah,
actually.
that makes
goodness me.
So there is a part of me that does understand there is a spectrum
Yeah.
of like bad and good.
Yeah.
Because I do want her to be like, oh my god,
Like, you've experienced so much of life. I want you to experience something you've never smelled before.
Have you?
ever.
Yeah. Okay.
hey, you see this young attractive fat dude right here. You're about to experience this.
Have you seen the video?
I want her to go home and be like, I had experienced something I never did before today.
I remember when my husband before he died, he used to just like that young boy.
All right, with my third pick in the draft as we move forward, the next thing that I have up is when it comes to Tim and Brian might really mess me up. Minor embarrassments that will ruin your day.
Because it should be.
And to me, it is hurrying to get somewhere and entering a quiet location while you're breathing heavy as that way people know, and they already know it, but people know that you're the fattest and you're out of shape, and like all they can do is hear. Actually, it happened to me when I went to ESPN Louisville for the first time. It was cold as shit, and I was trying to hurry to go around the building, and the person I go in on is Drew Diener, who is like the most physically in shape person working at ESPN Louisville. Like he 50 years old, but he's in the greatest shape of his life. And he's like, yeah, I heard you wheezing as you came in. I was like, thanks.
Be like, did you run here? I'm like, no, the steps. I just went up a flight of steps. That's a good one because, and I feel like you guys have a different perspective than I do.
Why? Why is that? Why is that, Dwight?
You just do.
I'm really confused.
Why is that? Yeah, if you do it,
why would you say that?
It feels like there's a different set of problems that come along with added girth, added mass. So no, that's a funny one. I didn't even think about that.
My dick right now?
Yeah, dude.
Like here's the thing.
It's not very problematic.
If you do it and you get exhausted, it's like, oh wow, he really was running and hurrying to get here.
Right.
And if we do it, it's like it's just like
I feel like it could
there's
be
no way he was running. He was just walking swiftly.
I feel like it could be worse if like your heavy breathing lasts like a minute after you enter the room. Like it's one thing if you enter the room wheezing, but then it's like a minute's gone by. You should have caught your breath by now.
Yeah, it's like,
but you're still going.
But like there's part of it too where you're trying to force it, so it makes it worse because you're like, I don't need to breathe. I don't need to breathe right now. We're good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's a good one.
That's mine.
All right, number 3. Oh my gosh. This one still I have PTSD from this. So this didn't just ruin my day, it ruined a lot. Calling when you're a kid and you call your teacher mom. That sucks. When you go up to her and you're like, Mom, and your teacher, and you're like, oh, you're like, I'm ruined. And like your teacher looks at you and you look at her and your friends look at you like, did you just call Miss Roberts mom?
Did you suck her titties?
I'm like, yeah. It's like, did you just call your teacher mom? And you just start crying. And now you're like, oh, you need your mom? That sucks.
I gotta be honest, this never happened to me.
Oh, it happens to everybody.
Wait, your mom was a teacher. Did you have your mom as a teacher?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a little bit. There's a reason why that could pop up.
Oh, it's like a porn thing.
That could be. Yeah,
I'd like to know if our listeners have done this because I feel like this is common. I feel like a lot of people have called their teacher mom when you're in like first grade, second grade. I feel like that's common.
Maybe. Hi, mommy.
It sucks. You just say, you go, Mom, and you're like, oh, it's Mrs. Roberts. It's her mom.
I can see how that could be embarrassing, especially given your circumstance. I think so. Also, going back to my guy Strebel, he's a teacher daily. He now has his son, who's 11, in his class. Mm-hmm. He tried to make his son call him Mr. Strebel instead of Dad. Personal opinion, as a son of a teacher, is that weird or is that normal?
No, I think it's weird.
Okay.
I think you should call your mom, and your dad, even if you're in their class.
Okay, I crushed.
I mean, because all the kids know, like all of the students know that's your mom or that's your dad.
It's weirder that you're calling him.
Yeah, it's weirder.
I know. We all know it's your dad.
Yeah.
We both know you have the same last name. It's not that common.
Yeah.
You're weirding us out by making your son call you not dad. Yeah. It's also depressing.
Yeah, I agree. And now don't call him daddy. But it's not weird to call him dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So calling your teacher mom, that'll ruin your day as a kid.
There you go. All right. Back to Brian.
When I forget my sunglasses, it's a terrible inconvenience and total embarrassment because like people used to see me in my shades.
You turned your mic off.
I didn't.
Oh, I couldn't hear him. Oh, okay.
I did it because it's not an inconvenience. We're doing embarrassment.
It is an inconvenience. We're doing embarrassment.
So why are you embarrassed?
Stop wasting your time doing
I'm embarrassed because people are used to seeing me wear my stellar shades.
Why does that embarrass you?
It doesn't.
Not having your glasses.
Sunglasses?
Yeah.
Because I need to like cover up my eyes so
Why?
that way I can stare at your titties.
I'm genuinely curious as to why you wear sunglasses indoors, like on a regular basis.
I wear sunglasses indoors because one, my eyes don't like to adjust. I don't like bright lights. This sucks right now. I hate this so much.
With the lights on you?
Have you ever seen Better Call Saul? No.
Yes.
Okay,
I
so
have.
you've seen his brother, who's electromagnetism, whatever.
On his head.
I don't have that. I don't want to look at bright lights. I'd much rather it be dark. You go in my house, like I turn on the. Yeah. When your feet smell so bad that you want to vomit. I have no idea.
Why?
Hey, real talk. All right. I mean, that's true about my feet.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good
Does
one.
somebody have an honorable mention that they can throw my way?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's good. That's good.
That's good. All right, so I'm going to go. So I have number 4, then Justin has number 4. Okay. Oh, man. I'm torn between a couple, but I'm going to go with accidentally liking an old photo of someone on social media.
Oh, that's
never accidental.
That is a good one.
That one is a panic mode setter for sure.
Start creeping for a little bit.
You're creeping,
Yeah,
you're looking, all of a sudden you double tap or your finger drags across something and
Yeah. Oh.
you got some splaining to do.
What you do is you try to undo it as quickly as
you
possible.
can try,
but you
but
hope that they didn't get the
They
update.
probably still get that notification that, and that makes it worse is when
Yeah.
they know like you did something and it's not there anymore.
Well, here's the one thing I
That's
think
bad.
specific. So I think like Instagram will say somebody liked a photo or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you removed it, they don't know what photo it was. It could have been in their most recent one. I don't think they know. I don't think it'll show up. I think it removes that notification.
That's good. I feel like
Like, it'll show
Facebook. I
the
feel like old
push.
school Facebook did not give you that courtesy. I
Yeah.
feel like it was pretty clear that
you were
you liked that picture of spring break
was like
2012.
her ass
Like
hanging out.
it was pretty much it was pretty clear what Dwight Young was doing at 2 a.m. that night.
yeah.
That's one that will suck.
That could also open doorways.
It
Just in case
it
the
could.
lady's like,
it could, but probably not.
3 a.m.
Probably not.
What could Dwight have been doing that night? This is
yeah.
3 a.m. I must be lonely.
Must be lonely. That's an embarrassing one. That sucks. And it sucks even if you're not creeping. Like, even if you're
clearly creepy.
okay, maybe you're creeping,
you're
but maybe
creeping.
you're
You're
not
always
creeping.
creeping.
Maybe you're not creeping for like
slam sesh?
those purposes. Maybe you're creeping for you're just being like whatever. You're being a nosy Nancy. I don't know.
Maybe you're doing your
But
job
you
as a private
accidentally-
investigator and you accidentally hit one
Exactly.
on somebody you're trying to follow, and then you're going to
Yes.
ruin your job.
What's the best though is when back in the day when you would like get your friend's phone and you would go on someone and you just start liking everything.
yes.
That's the best.
Yes.
But no, that's an embarrassment.
I'm going to go with a personal one, and that's calling your boss granddad. That's one that's embarrassing when somebody is already old themselves, and it sounds very condescending. Or when you just call them by the wrong name, especially when it's your boss. Because when it's your boss, it's a little bit more where you don't want to accidentally send one out. That is a more of an intimate relationship. So it sounds weird, but also this has happened not just once, multiple times with Carl, my boss, and I've been like, okay, granddad, have a good day. And it sounds degrading to him because it sounds like I'm calling him an old man, and it doesn't work out well for me.
That sucks. I've never done that ever.
You've never called a boss by not like in a name,
No,
right?
I have ended work calls with "love you" before. That's embarrassing.
Well, that's a similar situation.
That sucks. That's pretty embarrassing. You'd be like,
Yeah.
Be like, all right, well, we'll circle back on this. I'm like, all right, love you.
Yeah. Well, no,
That sucks.
I feel like
you can play into that.
that's probably the one I should have gone
Yeah,
with.
but if
and
you
it's
do
really
it with someone
usually-
that you're not really like cool with, it's
Yeah.
like not like you're clearly not joking.
I don't care if you don't love me. I love you.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I think,
Yeah.
well, I think overall,
I'm a bigger person.
Oh, yeah, I guess overall, I guess just what I'm getting at was really doing a sign off that was intimate. So, like,
Nah,
saying,
you
okay,
gotta stick
bye,
with granddad. You gotta stick with granddad.
All right, but no, the love you one, yeah, because
okay.
I'm guilty of doing the love you usually means we're done talking. And it's usually
Correct.
like, I love you,
the
babe.
fuck
Love you,
off
babe.
Right.
Love you, mom. Love you, okay,
Right.
whatever. Have a good day. Love you. And yeah, that gets pushed out sometimes. So, yeah.
All right, that's a good one. Everyone but Brian did a great job.
We had like 3 weeks.
Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Now We Can Talk Like Men podcast. We had some fun talking about some of our favorite teams, as well as the things that are going on, a lot of the nonsense as well. If you haven't already, do me a solid favor, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. You can follow us all on our social medias. You can follow me at Justin Sofer. You can follow him at Dwight NWCTLM on Twitter. And of course, you can follow him at bbowls90 as well. If you could also go ahead and make sure you follow us, all our social media, all the things that are going on there, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that. On Twitter, it's at NWCTLM. On everything else, it is at Now We Can Talk Like Men. Make sure you make sure you're also subscribed to the channel as well. That'll be it. We'll see you guys next time.